Chapter 556. With his cultivation, there was no way he could escape. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind Xian Zhong. The spear struck Xian Zhong's shoulder. Xian Zhong's body fell to the ground like a meteorite. Boom! Suddenly, a crater with a diameter of tens of meters appeared on the ground. Xian Zhong was lying in the crater, blood spurting out of his mouth. Lu Ming appeared beside the crater and looked at Xian Zhong coldly. "Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I beg you to let me go." Xian Zhong struggled to get up and begged. He was trembling in fear. Now, his life was in Lu Ming's hands. He felt like he was drowning in endless fear. "You said that sect master Xian and the rest would die in 2 days. What do you mean?" Lu Ming asked coldly. "No, nothing. I was just talking nonsense." Xian Zhong shook his head. "You don't want to talk? Then you can die." Lu Ming was stunned. Killing intent surged out of him. No, wait. I'll talk. I'll talk." Xian Zhong screamed. Lu Ming looked at him coldly. Cold sweat dripped down Xian Zhong's face. "The Heavenly Corpse sect wants to steal a treasure from the crafting sect. That treasure is with Xian Long. My father has already contacted the Heavenly Corpse sect. In 2 days, we'll launch a surprise attack on the crafting sect." "What? You colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect?" Lu Ming was shocked. "I'll talk. I've told you everything I know. Please let me go." Xian Zhong looked at Lu Ming anxiously. Now, he only wanted to save his life. He did not care about anything else. "I'll let you go. Go plead with sect master Xian and the rest." Lu Ming waved his hand and True Yuan entered Xian Zhong's body, sealing his True Yuan. Then, he carried Xian Zhong and flew to the blacksmith sect. Xian Zhong's face was pale and he was terrified. Soon, he arrived at the blacksmith sect. Someone wants to kill me. Someone wants to harm the blacksmith sect." Just then, Xian Zhong shouted crazily. In the silent night, his voice could be heard far away. "Who is it?" Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately, several dozen experts flew out from various parts of the crafting school. "Deacon Pang, this brat wants to kill me. He wants to steal our sect's treasures." Xian Zhong shouted, his face flashing with a sinister look. "It's Xian Zhong." "What? Brat, you're courting death." The weapon refining sect's people furiously roared and attacked Lu Ming. "Get out of the way. I have no ill intentions. I have something important to discuss with sect leader Xian." Lu Ming shouted. "Don't listen to his nonsense. He's up to no good. Kill him." Xian Zhong shouted. He had thrown caution to the wind. When he saw Xian Long and the others, he wouldn't be able to live. He might as well take a gamble now. As long as the weapon forging sect killed Lu Ming, he might still have a chance to live. "Kill!" The people from the weapon forging sect charged towards Lu Ming in a frenzy. Scram! Lu Ming roared. With a sweep of his spear, several experts from the weapon forging sect were sent flying. Lu Ming moved and rushed towards the depths of the weapon forging sect. "Save me!" Xian Zhong shouted. "Shut up. If you shout again, I'll kill you." Lu Ming shouted. "Go ahead. We're going to die anyway. Kill me." Xian Zhong made up his mind and shouted. Whoosh! Whoosh! Just then, another group of people rushed towards them. This time, there were more than 10 people and they were all martial kings. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered to explain and sent them flying. Soon, he was near the meeting hall of the weapon forging sect. "Bastard, you're courting death." At this moment, a cold bellow was heard. Immediately after, a few extremely sharp attacks slashed toward Lu Ming. They were two sabers. "Father, save me." Xianzhong was overjoyed when he heard the voice. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming unleashed his full strength and swept his spear to block the attack. However, his body shook violently and he couldn't help but retreat 1,000 meters. Greater success, King. Lu Ming's face changed. Xian Yuan appeared in front of him with a few spiritual weapons floating beside him. Xian Yuan's face was extremely cold. He rushed towards Lu Ming at lightning speed without any hesitation. With a wave of his hand, the two sabers turned into two cold bolts of lightning and slashed towards Lu Ming. At the same time, 3 spears appeared in a flash and pierced through the void towards Lu Ming. The moment he made his move, he unleashed a barrage of attacks. Xian Yuan had a bad feeling when he saw Xianzhong in Lu Ming's hands. He had to kill Lu Ming quickly. 1,000 dragons kill. With a shake of his spear, hundreds of tricolor true dragons roared and flew out. On average, there were nearly 100 tricolor true dragons pouncing on each spiritual weapon. Break! Xian Yuan shouted coldly as he controlled the spiritual weapons. A terrifying aura burst out from the spiritual weapons. Bang! Bang! The tricolor true dragons exploded one by one and turned into nothingness. The 5 spiritual weapons continued to attack Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his spear tightly to block the 5 spiritual weapons. Clang! 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 Although the 5 spiritual weapons were blocked, the terrifying force tore through Lu Ming's defense and almost tore his body apart. He was pushed back a few thousand meters and spat out a mouthful of blood. A greater success, King. Realm level 7 Martial King is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes turned serious. He had already sensed that Xian Yuan's cultivation was level 7 Martial King. Still not dead? Kill! Xian Yuan shouted angrily. Lu Ming's combat strength was beyond his expectations. Xian Yuan, if you want your son to die, keep attacking. Lu Ming blocked Xianzhong in front of him and shouted. Father, father, save me! Xianzhong screamed in fear. Xian Yuan's expression kept changing. The next moment, his eyes suddenly turned cold and there was a flash of determination. He waved his hands and the 5 spirit weapons turned into 5 bolts of lightning and charged toward Lu Ming. 2 of the spiritual weapons went straight for Xianzhong. No, no! Xianzhong shouted. How cruel! You even killed your son to silence him. Lu Ming's expression changed. He used the 9 dragon sky-stomping steps and retreated quickly. Stop! At this moment, a cold shout was heard. Several spiritual weapons tore through the air and collided with Xian Yuan's spiritual weapons. Clang! Clang! The violent collision resounded in the sky. Xian Yuan's spiritual weapons were bounced back. A figure appeared in the sky. It was Xianlong Whoosh. Whoosh! Behind Xianlong were other elders of the crafting sect, including Xianxiang. Master Lu Ming? What's going on? Xianxiang was confused when she saw Lu Ming and Xianzhong in Lu Ming's hand. Sect leader, Lu Ming, that little bastard, broke into the crafting sect and tried to kill Zhong. Luckily, I found him. I suggest we attack now and kill him. Xian Yuan shouted with a cold look in his eyes. Ha ha ha, Xian Yuan, you've done something wrong. Are you afraid that I'll say it, so you want to kill me? Lu Ming laughed. Kid, what are you talking about? Die. Chapter 557. However, Xianlong moved and stood in front of Xian Yuan. I believe Brother Lu wouldn't attack Xianzhong for no reason. Why don't we listen to what's going on? Let's get to the bottom of this. Xianlong said. Sect leader. Xian Yuan panicked. Alright, that's enough. Xianlong waved his hand. The coldness in Xian Yuan's eyes intensified. He knew that he could not kill Lu Ming with Qianlong's help. Stealthily, he gave one of the elders a look. That elder nodded slightly, and then slowly retreated, disappearing into the darkness. No one noticed. "Brother Lu, what's going on?" Qianlong looked at Lu Ming and asked. "Yes, Master Lu Ming, what's going on? How is Xianzhong?" Xianxiang asked as she looked at Xianzhong in Lu Ming's hand. "Sect Master Xian, before I left the crafting sect, I ran into this Xianzhong and one of his senior brothers. They tried to kill me on the way." Lu Ming said. "What? Xianzhong, how dare you?" Xianlong roared. "Xianzhong, how could you do such a thing?" Xianxiang also looked at Xianzhong with disappointment. Xianzhong lowered his head. His eyes were full of disappointment, but he didn't say anything. "Nonsense, you bastard. You're the one who wanted to kill Zhong," Xianyuan shouted again. "Shut up, old man. You're brainless, but do you think others are brainless too? I barged in from the outside and everyone saw it. Based on what you're saying, I barged in first and took Xianzhong away. Then, I brought Xianzhong out and barged in from the outside so that you could stop me?" Lu Ming shouted. Xianyuan's face turned red. He just wanted to pin a crime on Lu Ming. He did not expect there to be so many loopholes. He could not bring himself to say anything. "Xianyuan, are you the one who ordered this?" Xianlong's face turned ugly as he looked at Xianyuan. "Wait a minute. Sect leader Xian, killing me on the way is just a small matter. Just now, I heard something from Xianzhong that is a big matter." Lu Ming shouted. Hearing this, Xianyuan's expression changed drastically and he slowly stepped back. "Oh? Something big? What is it?" Xianlong asked. "Grand Elder Xianyuan has already colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect. In 2 days, he'll join forces with the Heavenly Corpse sect to take down the crafting school." Lu Ming shouted. These words were like rolling thunder, exploding in the minds of everyone in the crafting school. "What? What did you say?" Xianlong's face was filled with disbelief. The others also looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. This was too shocking. Sect leader Xianzhong said it himself. Lu Ming said. "Nonsense. Venomous slander. Sect leader, Lu Ming is trying to drive a wedge between us. I suggest that we kill him immediately." Xianyuan roared. "Xianyuan, you still dare to quibble? But you're really ruthless. You even wanted to kill Xianzhong just to shut me up. He's your biological son." Lu Ming sneered. Then, he said to Xianzhong, "Do you still want to help such an unscrupulous father hide it? When the Heavenly Corpse sect takes down the crafting school, everyone you know will die. What's the point of living then? Also, there's nothing between me and Xianxiang. On the contrary, she told me that she likes you, but you always misunderstood her." Lu Ming's words made Xianzhong tremble slightly. He raised his head and looked at Xianxiang. "Xianzhong, what's going on? Tell me." Xianxiang shouted. Xianzhong's eyes flickered. Then, he looked at Xianyuan and said, "Father, let's stop. We've made great contributions to the crafting school for generations. I believe that the sect leader and the elders will forgive us. Let's stop." Xianzhong's words were like thunder. Everyone looked at Xianyuan in unison. "Xianyuan, how dare you!" Xianlong roared, his hair and beard fluttering. "Bastard, you're so useless. You can't achieve great things because of your personal feelings. If I knew this would happen, I would have killed you." Xianyuan looked at Xianzhong coldly. Then, he looked at Lu Ming and sneered, "Little bastard, you ruined my plan. I'll make sure you die a horrible death." As soon as he finished speaking, Xianyuan retreated hastily. "Oh no, he's leaving!" Lu Ming shouted. "Stay. Xianlong roared and chased after Xianyuan. Xiang, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Xianzhong shouted. Xianxiang looked at Xianzhong with disappointment. Then, her face turned cold and she said, "This time, if it wasn't for Lord Lu Ming, you and your father would have colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect and attacked the crafting school. How can I forgive you?" Xianxiang turned her head and did not look at Xianzhong. Xianzhong was in despair. Clang! Clang! At this moment, Xianlong and Xianyuan had already exchanged a blow. Xianyuan retreated quickly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, there were sounds of something breaking through the air around the crafting school. Pitch-black coffins appeared all around the crafting sect. The Heavenly Corpse sect is attacking. The Heavenly Corpse sect is attacking. There were shouts and screams from all directions. Ha ha ha, now, you're all going to die. Xianyuan laughed maniacally. Damn it, activate the array, activate the array. Xianlong roared. However, in the next moment, there were explosions and screams around the crafting school. Ah! Ah! At the scene, several elders suddenly moved to assassinate the other elders of the crafting school. In an instant, those several elders were killed on the spot. You, Xianlong roared, his eyes spitting fire. Obviously, these people had all betrayed the crafting school. Ha, Xianlong, I've been in the crafting school for many years. How can there be no one? Xianyuan sneered. Traitor, traitor, kill them. The crafting school was in chaos. There were shouts and screams. At this moment, the coffins of the Heavenly Corpse sect opened and zombie guards flew out. They rushed into the crafting school and started a war. In an instant, the crafting school was engulfed in the flames of war. Xianyuan, you deserve to die. Xianlong roared and pounced on Xianyuan. Don't think that I'm afraid of you. Xianyuan roared and started a war with Xianlong. Both of them were Martial King Realm Greater Success Kings. The battle was intense. Xianlong, hand over the dark steel heavy sword and I'll leave your corpse intact. An old zombie guard wearing a black robe silently appeared not far away and said coldly. So you want the dark steel heavy sword? You want to go to the ancient desolation city? Xianlong seemed to have thought of something and his face changed. Hee, hand over the dark steel heavy sword. I know it's in your storage ring. The old zombie guard roared. Brother Lu, take Xiang away. Chapter 558. Leave. I still want her blood as a guide. How can I let her go? Capture that girl for me. Be careful, don't kill her. The old zombie guard waved his hand. Immediately, several zombie guards controlled the refined corpses to charge at Xianxiang. Kill. Xianxiang roared and controlled several spirit weapons to charge at the zombie guards. At this moment, Lu Ming threw Xianzhong onto the square of the forging sect. With a flash of his figure, he dashed toward a few zombie guards and refined corpses. With a sweep of his long spear, the few zombie guards exploded one after another. Kill that brat. The old zombie guard shouted, and more zombie guards rushed toward Lu Ming. There were at least 10 zombie guards with 20 refined corpses. Iron chains covered the sky and wrapped around Lu Ming and Xianxiang. Go! Lu Ming pulled Xianxiang and retreated, avoiding the entanglement of the iron chain. At this moment, there were battles everywhere. There were battles between the Forging Sect disciples and the Sky Corp Sect zombie guards. There were also internal conflicts within the Forging Sect. Damn traitor! Lu Ming saw that on the square below, an angry Forging Sect disciple chopped off Xianzhong's head. In the end, Xianzhong died in the hands of the Forging Sect disciple. Xianxiang also saw all of this. She bit her red lips, and her eyes were red. She didn't make a sound. Capture that girl. Around them, a group of zombie guards controlled the refined corpses and charged toward Lu Ming and Xian Xiang. Why do they want to capture Xian Xiang? Just now, Sect Master Xian shouted about the ancient Desolation City. Could it be the ancient Desolation City in the eastern part of the Profound Heaven continent? Lu Ming's mind raced. Whoosh! A battle sword pierced through the void and cut off the heads of 5 or 6 zombie guards. It was Xian Long. He controlled the battle sword to help Lu Ming and Xian Xiang. Lu Ming, take Xiang Xiang with you. Hurry and go to Tianxian City. I'm counting on you. Xian Long shouted. In the forging sect, only Xian Long and Xian Yuan were kings. The other elders were all kings. None of them had the strength of Lu Ming. At this moment, Xian Long could only ask Lu Ming for help. All right. Lu Ming agreed. He pulled Xian Xiang and quickly retreated. No one can leave. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded from behind. Whoosh! Whoosh! A series of iron chains pierced through the air, entangling towards Lu Ming and Xian Xiang. Scram! Lu Ming bellowed, and a 1,000-meter-long spear light swept out. But in the next moment, Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. The spear light was penetrated by the iron chain, and the iron chain continued to wrap around them. Great success, Monarch. Lu Ming's heart trembled. That was definitely a great success, king-level refined corpse. With me here, you want to leave? How is that possible? Hee hee. Behind him, a middle-aged zombie guard was controlling 2 refined corpses. They emitted a terrifying aura as they pressed towards Lu Ming. Lord Lu Ming, leave quickly. Don't worry about me. Xian Xiang shouted. Let's go. Lu Ming pulled Xian Xiang and rushed in another direction. However, the iron chain had blocked all paths of retreat. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming exchanged a few blows with it. His body shook violently, and blood spilled out of his mouth. With his current combat strength, there was still a gap between him and a great success king. Just as there was a divide between the 3rd and 4th level Martial King realm, there was also a divide between the 6th and 7th level Martial King realm. The 7th level Martial King realm belonged to the Great Success King realm. Their combat strength was 2 levels higher than the 6th level Martial King realm. Whoosh! Whoosh! The iron chains flew across the sky, attacking Lu Ming continuously. Clang! Clang! At this moment, 2 battle swords flew over and knocked the iron chain away. It was Xian Long who was controlling the swords to help. Xian Long, how dare you be distracted while fighting with me? You're courting death. Xian Yuan shouted coldly, and his battle weapon flew out. Xian Long was hit by Xian Yuan's spear, which pierced a bloody hole in his shoulder. If Xian Long had not dodged in time, it would have pierced his heart. Father. Xian Xiang was shocked and worried. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, the middle-aged zombie guard appeared behind Lu Ming and grabbed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming hurriedly turned around and stabbed out with his spear. The middle-aged zombie guard was also a Great Success King realm 7th level Martial King realm. Although the zombie guard's combat strength was not strong, he was still stronger than Lu Ming. Bang! With one blow, Lu Ming's body was sent flying backward. Not good. Lu Ming could not help but let go of Xian Xiang's hand. Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately, several iron chains wrapped around Xian Xiang and pulled her far away. Hee hee hee, I got the girl. Now I need the dark iron heavy sword. The old zombie guard sneered. He was also a Great Success King realm expert, and he was controlling the refined corpse to kill the elders of the crafting sect. The elders were killed by his refined corpse one after another. Xiang Xiang! Xian Long roared and controlled 3 swords to cut at the iron chains that wrapped around Xian Xiang. However, the refined corpse that wrapped around Xian Xiang was a great success King Realm expert. How could Xian Long save her? The iron chains flew out and knocked the 3 swords away. You dare to be distracted? Die. Xian Yuan revealed a cold smile. Xian Yuan took advantage of Xian Long's distraction and attacked fiercely. Whoosh! This time, one of Xian Long's arms was chopped off by Xian Yuan. Xian Long roared like a mad lion. "Ha, I got the storage ring." Xian Yuan was overjoyed and threw Xian Long's arm to the old zombie guard. "Dad, Dad!" Xian Xiang anxiously roared in the distance. Bang! Lu Ming sent several lesser success King Realm refined corpses flying with his spear and charged towards Xian Long. "Kid, you want to save her? Die." The middle-aged zombie guard controlled a refined corpse and blocked Lu Ming's path. "Die my ass." "Dandan, smash." Lu Ming patted Dandan. Shwa. Dandan flew out and rapidly enlarged, smashing toward the middle-aged zombie guard's face. Bang! The middle-aged zombie guard could not dodge at all and was directly smashed in the face. Ah! He screamed as his face was almost smashed. He frantically retreated while controlling the refined corpse to block in front of him. What a meticulous plan. Lu Ming felt that it was a pity. Originally, he wanted to use Dandan to ambush and kill a greater success King Realm zombie guard. However, this zombie guard immediately controlled the refined corpse to block in front of him, so he did not have the chance. Lu Ming dashed past them and toward Xian Long. At this moment, Xian Xiang was surrounded by a bunch of refined corpses. Even if he wanted to save her, it was already too late. At this moment, Xian Long was in danger. One of his arms was chopped off, so he was not Xian Yuan's opponent at all. Bang! Lu Ming's aura was like a rainbow. He was simply invincible under the greater success King Realm. No zombie guard or refined corpse could stop him. This kid is courting death. The old zombie guard's eyes were cold as he controlled a greater success King Realm refined corpse to charge toward Lu Ming. At the same time, he himself also charged toward Xian Long. Not good. Extreme Dao Strike. Lu Ming became one with his spear and turned into a spear light. The refined corpses and zombie guards in front of him were all sent flying. Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared not far from Xian Long. However, at this moment, the old zombie guard and Xian Yuan had already surrounded Xian Long. Xian Long was already at a disadvantage. Now that he was surrounded, he was instantly hit and his body was covered in blood. Dandan, smash! Lu Ming shouted. Die! Chapter 559. Bam! Dandan hit Xian Yuan first. Xian Yuan screamed miserably. Even though he was a grand completion king, his face was smashed into pulp by Dandan's attack. How could Xian Long let go of this opportunity? Traitor, die! Xian Long controlled 3 swords and slashed at Xian Yuan. Clang! Clang! Xian Yuan only managed to block 2 of the swords in his panic. He couldn't block the third one. Puff! The third sword cut off Xian Yuan's head. A greater success king was killed just like that. But at the same time, the old zombie guard's claw pierced through Xian Long's chest and grabbed his heart. Damn it! Dandan, smash! Lu Ming roared and smashed Dandan at the old zombie guard's face. The old zombie guard screamed and quickly retreated, but it was still smashed by Dandan, smashing it beyond recognition. Shwa! Lu Ming rushed over, grabbed Xian Long, and quickly broke out. At the same time, his true Yuan swept Xian Yuan's corpse into the Temple of Paragon. Bam! Bam! Lu Ming swept out his spear, and the refined corpses were sent flying. Lu Ming continued to rush out. Damn it! Stop him! Stop him! I want him to die. The old zombie guard screamed and controlled the greater success king refined corpses to surround him. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had taken action in advance. Only 2 of their king-level masters had come. There were no king-level masters blocking Lu Ming's path. Without a phenomenal success king, no one below the phenomenal success king level would be able to withstand Lu Ming's attack. The refined corpses were sent flying like sandbags. Extreme Dao Strike. In the end, Lu Ming unleashed an extreme Dao attack and dashed out 5 miles away. He then took a deep breath and circulated his true yuan. He took a step and appeared 10 miles away. Chase! Chase! The old zombie guard roared and controlled the greater success king refined corpses to chase after him. However, Lu Ming used the 9 dragons heaven stomping steps and instantly disappeared. A few minutes later, Lu Ming had rushed out nearly 10,000 miles. Puff! Xian Long kept coughing up blood, his face as pale as a sheet of paper. Lu Ming chose a secluded place, landed, and placed the profound dragon on the ground. Little brother Lu, I beg you, you must save Xiang Xiang. Xian Long coughed up blood as he spoke. His heart had been crushed, and he had relied on his powerful physical body and profound cultivation to stay alive. If it had been an ordinary person, they would have died from such injuries. Sect leader Xian, let me heal you. Lu Ming placed his palm on Xian Long's back and a majestic true energy flowed into Xian Long's body. Lu Ming's true essence was the battle dragon's true essence, which was extremely effective. After a while, Xian Long's face regained some color. Little brother, don't waste your Zhen Yuan. Your heart has already exploded, and there's nothing you can do. Little brother, let me tell you a few things. Xian Long panted. Sect leader Xian, please speak. Lu Ming said. If I'm not wrong, the Heavenly Corpse sect must have taken the Xian family's dark iron heavy sword and kidnapped Xiang Xiang. They must have gone to the ancient desolation city in the east, opened the ancient desolation tomb in the ancient desolation city, retrieved the corpses in the tomb, and refined them into peerless corpses. They must have gone to the east. Little brother, I beg you, help me save Xiang Xiang. After speaking, Xian Long struggled to kneel before Lu Ming. Sect leader Xian, what are you doing? I promise you, I will save Xiang Xiang. Lu Ming said firmly. Good, that's good. Little brother, this storage ring was given to me by Xiang Xiang's mother. Can you pass it to her on my behalf? Xian Long took off his storage ring and passed it to Lu Ming. Don't worry, sect leader Xian. Lu Ming means what he says. Lu Ming took the storage ring and kept it. Sect leader Xian, what's your relationship with the ancient desolation city? Lu Ming was curious. Lu Ming remembered that the peerless genius of the ancient desolation city, Xian Feng, also had the same surname as Xian Long. The Xian family of the blacksmith sect used to be a branch of the Xian family in the ancient desolation city. There were 2 dark iron heavy swords in the Xian family. It was said that once the 2 dark iron heavy swords were combined and the ancient desolation tomb was opened, it would be a disaster for the Xian family. So, 10,000 years ago, our branch left the ancient desolation city with the dark iron heavy sword and came here to prevent the 2 dark iron heavy swords from combining. Unfortunately, the Heavenly Corpse sect knew about it. They will definitely bring Xiang Xiang to the ancient desolation city to get the other dark iron heavy sword. Once the ancient desolation tomb is opened, the Xian family will be finished. Xian Long explained. Xian Long's life force was getting weaker and weaker. There was nothing he could do. Little brother, I'll leave Xiang Xiang to you. In the end, Xian Long uttered his final words. His life force dissipated, and he died. Sigh. Lu Ming sighed. He dug a hole at the side and buried the mystic dragon. However, he did not leave a tombstone. If the Heavenly Corpse sect found the tombstone, they would probably refine the corpse into a corpse. Don't worry, sect leader Xian. Since I've promised, I'll do my best to fulfill it. Lu Ming cupped his fists and flew into the sky. He retracted his aura and flew back to the blacksmith sect. Quick, take everything you can. Quick! Lu Ming heard shouts as he approached the blacksmith sect. Lu Ming flew into the sky and looked down. However, he did not see any trace of Xian Xiang. Not only that, he did not even see the two Greater Success King zombie guards. Where did they take Xian Xiang? Lu Ming pondered. After a while, some zombie guards flew towards the north. Lu Ming followed them from a distance. They flew towards the north for at least a few 100,000 miles. There was a huge mountain filled with smoke in front of them. The zombie guards all flew into the mountain. Lu Ming stopped a few 100 miles away. He did not dare to go any further. He guessed that it was one of the Heavenly Corps sex bases in the Tianxian domain. There were definitely many experts there. If he got too close and was discovered, he would be in danger. Lu Ming found a secluded place and hid himself. Could Xian Xiang have been brought here? Or has she left for the east? Lu Ming frowned and pondered. Whatever. I'll wait here for 2 days. If I don't see Xian Xiang, I'll head east. Dandan, stay here and keep watch. Let me know if anything happens. I'll cultivate first. Lu Ming placed Dandan on the ground and entered the Temple of Paragon. Xian Yuan's corpse was on a platform in the Temple of Paragon. Lu Ming did not want to waste the essence blood of a Greater Success King. The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and devoured Xian Yuan's essence blood. Lu Ming took off Xian Yuan's storage ring and waved his hand. A wisp of flame appeared and burned Xian Yuan's corpse to ashes. Lu Ming sat down cross-legged and began refining Xian Yuan's essence blood. The essence blood of a Greater Success King was too dense. Lu Ming used it all to strengthen the 9 dragons' bloodline. Chapter 560. A new silver chakra appeared. 7th chakra, 7th level king class bloodline. After refining so much blood essence, the 9 dragons' bloodline finally rose to the 7th grade of king class. 7th level king class bloodline was the same level as Xian Yanqing's bloodline. It had surpassed most of the geniuses in Tianxian domain. It was said that the bloodline of the Saint Star was above 7th level king class. Other than him, no one else in Tianxian domain had reached 7th level king class. Hoo, the 9 dragons' bloodline opened its mouth and inhaled. The devouring power was terrifying. The power of devouring has increased by 2 times. Now, even a Greater Success King would be affected by the power of devouring. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Indeed, the devouring power of the 9 dragons' bloodline had greatly increased after reaching 7th level king class. I wonder what kind of changes will happen after I advance to the divine bloodline. Lu Ming thought. It was said that the divine bloodline had incredible power. It was mysterious and terrifying. Martial artists had the chance to awaken their bloodline for the 3rd time after reaching the Sea of Spirit Realm. Martial artists had 3 chances to awaken their bloodline in their life. However, not every martial artist could awaken their bloodline for the 3rd time. The 3rd bloodline awakening was completely different from the previous 2. It was not fixed, but random. It depended on one's comprehension, luck, and talent. Some martial artists awakened their bloodline at the 1st level of the Sea of Spirit Realm, some at the 2nd level, and some at the 3rd level. Some even at the Spirit Embryo Realm. Most people would never be able to awaken a 3rd bloodline in their entire lives. The probability was terrifyingly low. Out of 10,000 martial artists who reached the Sea of Spirit Realm, only 1 could awaken their 3rd bloodline. However, once the 3rd bloodline was awakened, it would be terrifying. This was because the 2nd bloodline of those who could reach the Sea of Spirit Realm was usually above 3rd level king class. The 3rd bloodline would definitely be higher than the 2nd bloodline. Some people could even awaken their divine bloodline and soar to the sky. However, Lu Ming had the 9 dragons bloodline. Even if he couldn't awaken his 3rd bloodline, his 2 bloodlines could become divine bloodlines in the future. He was looking forward to it. Let's see what's happening outside. Lu Ming walked out of the Temple of Paragon. Dandan's body was flashing, but it didn't seem to be moving. Continue to wait. What's that? At this moment, Lu Ming saw a few light spots flying toward the east from the mountain in the distance. However, they were too far away. Given Lu Ming's eyesight, he could not see them clearly. Let's go to the east. Lu Ming grabbed Dandan and headed toward the east. After about 10,000 miles, Lu Ming. It's Xian. From afar, Lu Ming saw more than 10 zombie guards and dozens of refined corpses. The woman in the middle was Xian Xiang. These corpse guards didn't hide in the coffins, as if they were afraid of causing unnecessary trouble along the way. After all, Xians, or not, so many. Lu Ming couldn't see through at least 3 of the zombie guards. They were all kings in the Great Accomplishment stage. There were at least 6 kings in the Great Accomplishment stage. This wasn't something that Lu Ming could fight against. Lu Ming could only follow them from afar and wait for an opportunity to attack. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect was very cautious. Even when they were resting, there would be a king in the Great Accomplishment stage guarding Xian. Lu Ming couldn't attack at all. Just like that, more than 10 days passed. They were getting closer and closer to the east. The ancient Desolation City had always been mysterious in the east of the Tianxian domain. It was said that the ancient Desolation City didn't belong to this world and wasn't built by the people of this world. Instead, during the ancient times, the ancient desolate city fell from the sky. There was a strange aura in the ancient Desolation City. Other martial artists couldn't cultivate or raise their cultivation in the city. Only the Xian family members could cultivate in the ancient Desolation City. Therefore, other than the Xian family members, no one else lived in the ancient Desolation City. The Xian family didn't have many people in the ancient Desolation City, but they were all peerless geniuses. Today, there weren't only people from the Xian family in the Xian family's meeting hall. There were also people from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The Fire Palace Master, Earth Palace Master, and Thunder Palace Master were all in the ancient Desolation City's meeting hall. Apart from them, there were also some protectors from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. They were all powerful people. Recently, more and more people from the Heavenly Corpse sect have appeared in the east of the Tianxian domain. Could it be that the Tianxian branch palace in the central region is at a disadvantage? The Earth Palace Master said. Especially the ancient Desolation City. There are Heavenly Corpse sect's corpse guards coming to harass us. Therefore, the Palace Master sent us to help. The Thunder Palace Master frowned. Could it be that the Heavenly Corpse sect's target is the ancient Desolation Tomb? Sitting at the head of the table was a middle-aged man whose eyes were like lightning. At this moment, he spoke with a frown. This person was the ancient Desolation City's city master and also the Xian family's family master. Beside him stood a youth. It was Xian Feng. Ancient Desolation Tomb? The Thunder Palace Master and the others were puzzled. According to our Xian family's ancient records, the ancient Desolation City descended from another world. The ancient Desolation Tomb is where the corpses of unparalleled experts are buried. Our Xian family's ancestor entered the ancient Desolation Tomb by chance and merged with a drop of blood from one of the corpses. That's how he was able to cultivate in the ancient Desolation City. I suspect that the Heavenly Corpse sect wants to open the ancient Desolation Tomb and seize the corpses. The Xian family's family master said. There's actually such a thing? The Earth Palace Master, Thunder Palace Master, and the others were dumbfounded. In the past, they thought that it was just a rumor. Then we can't let the Heavenly Corpse sect succeed. If the Heavenly Corpse sect really obtains the corpses of unparalleled experts and refines them into refined corpses, it will be a great catastrophe. The Earth Palace Master said. Don't be afraid. It won't be easy for them to open the ancient Desolation Tomb. They need 2 keys. Our ancient Desolation City only has 1 key. The other key was taken away by another branch of the Xian family 10,000 years ago. The ancient Desolation City's city master said. That's good. The few of them heaved a sigh of relief. A few days ago, the Heavenly Corpse sect would occasionally attack. But these few days, the Heavenly Corpse sect has gone into hibernation. I wonder what their goal is? The Fire Palace Master said. No matter what their goal is, we just need to prepare our defenses. The Thunder Palace Master said. After that, the crowd continued to discuss for a while before dispersing one by one. Only the Ancient City Master was still frowning. Feng, if anything happens, you must escape. Your life is more important. Do you understand? The Ancient City Master instructed. Father, Xian Feng wanted to say something but stopped. Remember, our Xian family can't end here. This time, I have a bad premonition. The Ancient City Master said. Chapter 561. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. Whoosh! Whoosh! Early in the morning, there were sounds of something breaking through the air. There were at least 1,000 coffins flying towards the ancient desolate city from all directions. Not good, the Heavenly Corpse sect has launched an attack. There are so many coffins. A scream came from the ancient desolate city and spread throughout the city. Prepare to meet the enemy. The ancient desolate city lord appeared in the air and ordered loudly. In the ancient desolate city, there were at least a few thousand people running. Whoosh! Whoosh! More than a dozen figures appeared beside the ancient desolate city lord. They were the Thunder Palace Lord, Fire Palace Lord, and some other experts from the ancient desolate city. What's going on? Why did the Heavenly Corpse sect launch an attack today and send out so many people? The Earth Palace Lord roared, full of doubts. Perhaps the person the Heavenly Corpse sect is waiting for has arrived. The ancient desolate city lord sighed. What do you mean the person they are waiting for has arrived? Who are they waiting for? Everyone was puzzled. Over 1,000 coffins opened, and corpse guards appeared in the air, carrying refined corpses. Ancient desolate city lord, hand over the black iron heavy sword and let us open the ancient desolate's tomb. We can consider letting you go. An old zombie guard sneered. Dream on. Even if you get my black iron heavy sword, you can't open the ancient desolate's tomb. The ancient desolate city lord said. Really? Do you think we don't know? We have already investigated clearly. There are 2 keys to the ancient desolate's tomb. If we don't get them, why would we attack? Bring them here. The old zombie guard waved his hand and a zombie guard appeared with a beautiful young woman. This woman was Xian Xiang. This is the descendant of the Xian family that left 10,000 years ago. We have already gotten the key. As long as the 2 keys are combined, we can open the ancient desolate's tomb. Hand over your black iron heavy sword. The old zombie guard sneered. The ancient desolate city lord's face was extremely ugly. You want me to hand it over? Impossible, unless I die. The ancient desolate city lord roared. Stubborn. Since that's the case, kill. The old zombie guard waved his hand. The zombie guards controlled the refined corpses and charged towards the ancient desolate city lord. A fierce battle broke out in an instant. Thousands of guards controlled more than 2,000 refined corpses to attack the ancient desolate city. Although the ancient desolate city's Xian family did not have many people, they still had several thousand. Together with the reinforcements from the Heavenly God Palace, they engaged in an intense battle with the Heavenly Corpse sect. Boom! Boom! The Thunder Palace Master, the Fire Palace Master, the Earth Palace Master, and the Ancient Desolation City Master all released powerful auras that were as dazzling as 4 small suns. With a wave of his hand, flickering lightning and blazing flames spread out in all directions. Dozens of refined corpses were instantly torn apart. 4 ninth layer martial kings. Good, after killing them, I can refine another 4 powerful refined corpses. A sneer was heard. Then, 4 figures pounced toward Hall Master Lei and the others. Among the 4 figures, 2 of them were gigantic demonic beasts. They were demonic corpses, and their bodies exuded a powerful aura. 2 of them were human corpses, but they wore armor and held spears as they charged towards the Thunder Palace Master and the others. These 2 refined corpses were completely different from the other refined corpses. The Thunder Palace Master and the others did not dare to be careless and engaged in a fierce battle with these refined corpses. For a moment, it was a draw. Ah! Ah! Screams could be heard from all over the ancient desolate city as people were killed. Lu Ming was hiding on a mountain peak outside the ancient desolate city. So many experts. I didn't expect the Heavenly God Palace to send a few palace masters. Including the original strength of the ancient desolate city, there are 8 great perfection kings. Lu Ming pondered as he sensed the auras in the distance. Apart from the 3 palace masters, the Heavenly God Palace also had 2 great perfection kings. As for the ancient desolate city itself, it also had 3 great perfection kings. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect had clearly come prepared. They had sent more than 8 great perfection kings. Including the refined corpses they controlled, their strength was clearly above the ancient desolate cities. With Lu Ming's cultivation, he would not be of much use if he participated. I'll wait and see. I'll take the opportunity to save Xianxiang. Lu Ming made up his mind. He hid there, retracted his aura, and remained motionless. As time passed, the battle became even more intense. People were constantly being killed in the ancient desolate city, and the smell of blood permeated the entire city. As for the Thunder Palace Master and the other great perfection kings, they were under even more pressure. Apart from the 4 refined corpses from before, there were even more refined corpses attacking them. Immediately, they were at a disadvantage. Charge! Let's join forces and charge out. The Thunder Palace Master roared. No, if we charge out, everyone else will die. Moreover, the ancient desolate tomb cannot be opened. The ancient desolate city master roared. At this time, we can't care so much. If we don't charge out, we will all die. The Thunder Palace Master roared. He regretted taking on this mission. However, the ancient desolate city master and the Fire Palace Master did not listen to him. Damn it! The Thunder Palace Master roared. With a wave of his hand, thunder rumbled and struck forward. The 2 refined corpses attacking him were forced back. He then charged forward, wanting to break out of the encirclement. You actually ran away. The Fire Palace Master roared. A bunch of fools. Who is willing to stay here and die? The Thunder Palace Master sneered and charged forward. However, Xiao! Iron chains appeared and 2 powerful refined corpses appeared, blocking the Thunder Palace Master's path. Behind him, the 2 refined corpses charged forward. There was no way out. Ah, damn it! The Thunder Palace Master roared and was forced back. I have already sent a message to the Palace Master to ask for reinforcements. As long as we can hold on for an hour, the Palace Master will be able to arrive. The Fire Palace Master shouted. There is a way. We can retreat to the edge of the ancient desolate tomb. Our Xian family has been inscribing inscription arrays around the tomb for generations. After so many years, the inscription arrays there have become quite powerful. We can retreat there and activate the inscription arrays. We can definitely hold on for an hour. The ancient desolate city master said. Alright, let's do that. The Fire Palace Master and the Earth Palace Master both agreed. The Thunder Palace Master helplessly followed them and charged into the ancient desolate tomb. Gather! Gather! We will retreat to the ancient desolate tomb together. The ancient desolate city master roared as he retreated. He gathered the remaining members of the Xian family and retreated to the ancient desolate tomb together. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect tried their best to stop them. There were killings everywhere and not many people could shake off their opponents to join them. In the end, only a few hundred people rushed to the edge of the ancient desolate tomb. Activate the array. The ancient desolate city master roared. His eyes were filled with pain. Once they activated the array, the people in the other parts of the ancient desolation city would only die. However, they had no choice but to do so now. Chapter 562. A light screen appeared in front of the city master of the ancient desolation city. Boom! 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 Those powerful refined corpses were constantly attacking the light barrier. The light barrier was constantly trembling, but it didn't break. It firmly blocked the attacks. Damn it, attack! A greater success. King Zombie Guard roared and ordered the other zombie guards to control the refined corpses to attack. However, the inscription array was extremely strong and couldn't be broken in a short period of time. City Lord of the ancient desolate city, are you so heartless as to hide inside and watch your clansmen get killed? An old zombie guard appeared and sneered. Ah! Ah! Miserable cries could be heard all around. They were all from the Xian family. Kiki, the ancient city lord, clenched his teeth and tears welled up in his eyes. Ah, damn it. The other Xian family members, such as Xian Feng, who had entered the array, stared outside with red eyes. Don't kill those Xian family members yet. Take them down and kill them here. The old zombie guard ordered. Soon, the Xian family members were injured and brought to the ancient city lord's tomb. City Lord, save us. Some of the more cowardly ones begged. However, the ancient city lord clenched his fists and didn't say a word. It was said that once the ancient city lord's tomb was opened, there would be a disaster. Kill. The old zombie guard ordered. Whoosh. Whoosh. The iron chain was like a long spear that pierced through the Xian family members and killed them all. Ah, damn it, damn it. Xian Feng and the others roared. Soon, more Xian family members were brought in and killed. Not only the Xian family members, but even the Fire Palace Lord and the others were furious. Open the inscription array and hand over the black iron sword. Then, we can spare their lives. The old zombie guard sneered. Don't even think about it. The ancient city lord roared. His eyes were red and filled with killing intent. Alright, continue to kill. Then, more Xian family members were brought in. Father, save me. A loud shout came from a beautiful girl in her 20s. The ancient city lord shouted. Ha, so this is your daughter. Good. City Lord of the ancient desolation city, I wonder what it would be like for you to watch your daughter copulate with a hero of the Heavenly Corpse sect in public. I'm really looking forward to it. You, go and take off her clothes. I'll leave this cushy task to you. The old zombie guard pointed at a pale-faced middle-aged zombie guard. Thank you, elder. The middle-aged zombie guard was overjoyed. His eyes shone with a lustful light as he walked towards the beautiful woman. No, don't come over. Despair filled the beautiful woman's face. Bastard, you damned bastard. The Fire Palace Master roared. Kill. Xian Feng roared and was about to rush out, but he was slapped back by the city lord. Remember, don't let them enter the desolate ancient tomb. Guard it with the great formation and wait for rescue. The city lord of the ancient desolation city scolded Xian Feng. Then, his eyes turned cold and he dashed out of the formation towards Xian father. Xian Feng roared. Hee, you're finally willing to come out? Take him down. The old zombie guard waved his hand and a few greater success kings controlled the refined corpses to attack the city lord of the ancient desolation city. Kill. The city lord of the ancient desolation city emitted a blazing light. He slashed down with his battle sword and the middle-aged zombie guard was cut in half. The sword chi slashed out and a refined corpse of the martial king realm was cut in half. The city lord of the ancient desolation city's aura was much stronger than before. A secret technique that burns one's essence, chi, and soul. Do you want to die? The old zombie guard roared. The city lord of the ancient desolation city burned his essence, chi, and soul. It was a secret technique of the Xian family. His battle strength skyrocketed, but he would definitely die in less than 10 minutes. Follow me. I'll bring you out. The city lord of the ancient desolation city said to the beautiful woman. He grabbed her hand and dashed out. Stop him. The old zombie guard roared. Immediately, the experts among the zombie guards attacked. 5 refined corpses that were equivalent to Martial King realm cultivators charged towards the city lord of the ancient desolation city. Get out of my way. The city lord of the ancient desolation city held his sword with one hand and his aura was shocking. He slashed out and a Martial King realm corpse was sent flying. It was almost cut in half. The city lord of the ancient desolation city's battle strength skyrocketed after using the secret technique that burned his essence, chi, and spirit. He was infinitely close to a peak king realm cultivator. The sword chi swept out and several Martial King realm corpses were sent flying. There were even 7 or 8 zombie guards that were swept by the sword chi and killed. The city lord of the ancient desolation city rushed out with Xian Min, back off. Let's work together to control the dragon corpse. The old zombie guard roared. Whoosh, a huge coffin flew down from the sky. This coffin was hundreds of meters long and more than 50 meters wide. It pressed down on the city lord of the ancient desolation city. Break. The city lord of the ancient desolation city slashed out and the coffin exploded. However, a huge creature emerged from the coffin. Its winding body was hundreds of meters long and covered with scales. It had 2 horns on its head and 4 claws under its abdomen. It was the corpse of a flood dragon. Whoosh! Whoosh! At least 10 zombie guards flew onto the flood dragon corpse. Their bodies were filled with corpse chi. These 10 zombie guards were all at the peak king realm. At this moment, they were controlling the flood dragon corpse together. Roar! Suddenly, the flood dragon corpse let out a huge roar. The roar formed a huge storm that rushed toward the city lord of the ancient desolation city. Not good. The city lord of the ancient desolation city's face changed drastically. He slashed out with his sword and the bright sword chi split the storm apart. However, his body also retreated rapidly. Whoosh! The flood dragon corpse moved and its 200-meter-long body rushed toward the city lord of the ancient desolation city. At the same time, it clawed down. Its speed was as fast as lightning. The city lord of the ancient desolation city roared and slashed out with his sword. However, it was useless. The sword chi was scattered by the flood dragon claw. The flood dragon claw hit the city lord of the ancient desolation city heavily. The city lord of the ancient desolation city was sent flying like a cannonball. He crashed into the light screen of the inscription array in front of the ancient desolation tomb and spat out blood. As for Xian Min, needless to say, she was torn apart by this attack. How could this be? The city lord of the ancient desolation city roared. He couldn't bear it. Dad, Min, Xian Feng also roared. Inside the array, everyone's faces were filled with despair. The Sky Corpse sect even had a flood dragon corpse. From the previous exchange, the flood dragon corpse was too powerful. Its battling power was unparalleled. It was probably close to the Sea of Souls realm. Could this inscription array block it? The old zombie guard waved his hand and collected a strand of Xian Min's blood. He sneered, "We have the blood of this descendant of the Xian family. All that is left is the black iron heavy sword. Continue to attack." The old zombie guard waved his hand. Roar! The flood dragon corpse continued to attack. The city lord of the ancient desolation city tried his best to block out the attack. However, the difference was too great. He was beaten until he spat out blood. All of the bones in his body were broken. He laid on the ground and his chi was weakening rapidly. Get the hell back! Xian Feng roared and wanted to rush out. However, he was stopped by the city lord. The old zombie guard walked to the city lord of the ancient desolation city and took the storage ring of the city lord. The next moment, a black iron heavy sword appeared in the hands of the old zombie guard. Ha ha ha, 2 keys in hand. Now, attack this array. Chapter 563. The flood dragon corpse rushed forward and bombarded the inscription array. The inscription array trembled violently like water ripples. Inside, many people revealed looks of fear. Boom! Boom! In less than 10 minutes, the inscription array let out a terrifying roar and burst. After a violent tremor, the inscription array collapsed. The inscription array was broken. Sigh, it's useless after all. The desolate city lord sighed. Then, his life was extinguished. Gather together and defend with all your strength. The fire palace lord roared. More than 100 people retreated to a corner and gathered together, cautiously staring at the people of the Sky Corpse sect. At this point, they could only fight to the death. Damn it, damn it. Am I going to die here today? The fire palace lord roared in his heart, extremely unwilling. He. The old zombie guard led a group of experts and Xian Xiang to the front of the desolate ancient tomb. They were now in a vast square in front of the desolate ancient tomb. The desolate ancient tomb was like a magnificent palace. It was hundreds of meters high and incomparably huge. Surround them first. It won't be too late to kill them after the door of the desolate ancient tomb opens. The old zombie guard ordered. Just in case, if they killed the people of the Xian family, no one would ask if there were any problems when the desolate ancient tomb was opened. With a wave of his hand, a force appeared and cut a wound on Xian Xiang's arm. A trace of blood was attracted to the old zombie guard's hand. Xian Xiang cried out and cold sweat flowed down. You guys, guard here and stop them. You guys, follow me to open the desolate ancient tomb. The old zombie guard ordered. Immediately, a group of experts, including the flood dragon corpse, were left behind. The old zombie guard led some experts and walked towards the desolate ancient tomb. At this time, no one noticed that a figure wearing a zombie guard's black robe silently appeared behind several zombie guards. This person was of course Lu Ming. He killed a zombie guard and changed into the zombie guard's black robe. He came in from the back without being noticed by the other zombie guards. Now, the battle in the desolate ancient tomb was basically over. The Xian family had suffered a crushing defeat. Basically, all of them were dead. Only a few people in the square of the desolate ancient tomb remained. Hee, little girl, behave yourself. When the desolate ancient tomb is successfully opened, I'll send you on your way. ALV-7 Martial King Realm Zombie Guard grabbed Xian Xiang's arm and sneered. On Xian Xiang's arm, blood flowed, making her face pale. Now! Lu Ming's eyes flashed. A portion of the experts followed the old zombie guards to the desolate ancient tomb. The remaining experts controlled the flood dragon's corpse and stared at the fire hall master and the others. There weren't any experts beside Lu Ming. That king who had caught the Xian Xiang was the strongest. Whoosh! Lu Ming's figure flashed past several zombie guards. Then, he brazenly launched an extreme strike. The spear light turned into a streamer of light, streaking across the void like a meteor. It struck towards the zombie guard's head with peerless speed. That zombie guard never even dreamed that someone would launch a sneak attack from behind. Before it could even react, its head was pierced by Lu Ming, and it died on the spot. Phew! Lu Ming appeared beside Xian Xiang and took a deep breath. He then pulled Xian Xiang and soared into the sky. Who's there? Courting death. At this moment, the other zombie guards finally reacted and let out roars. Several iron chains pierced towards Lu Ming. Stay here. On the flood dragon's head, a LV-9 Martial King Realm zombie guard let out a furious roar. His figure flashed with an unbelievable speed. Before Lu Ming could even execute the 9 Dragons' heaven-stomping steps, he had already closed in on Lu Ming. A mighty corpse chi was fired in Lu Ming's direction. Bang! Lu Ming thrust his spear forward with all his might, colliding with the corpse chi. However, his body was knocked back 1,000 meters, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming! It's Lu Ming! At this moment, the Fire Hall Master and the others let out cries of disbelief when they saw Lu Ming's appearance. Never in their wildest dreams did they expect to see Lu Ming here. Furthermore, Lu Ming's strength was unbelievably powerful. He had managed to kill a 7th-layer Martial King Realm zombie guard with a sneak attack, and was even able to resist the attack of a 9th-layer Martial King Realm zombie guard. Although the 9th-layer Martial King Realm zombie guard had not used much of its strength in a hurry, it was still terrifying enough. Due to the delay, the surrounding zombies rushed toward Lu Ming, trying to surround him. Extreme Dao Strike. Lu Ming dashed toward a direction where there were no experts around. The Extreme Dao Strike knocked away more than 10 zombies and zombie guards. Trying to run away? Stay here. The LV-9 Martial King Realm zombie guard dashed forward and chased after Lu Ming. Attack, break out of the encirclement. At this moment, the Fire Hall Master let out a roar. They were trying to take advantage of the opportunity to break out of the encirclement. Courting death. The zombie guards on the Flood Dragon yelled. They controlled the Flood Dragon's corpse to attack the Fire Hall Master and the others. However, a few of them had gone to the desolate ancient tomb, and the LV-9 Martial King Realm zombie guard had chased after Lu Ming. There were only 5 of them left. It was extremely difficult to control the Flood Dragon's corpse, causing its movements to become slower than before. Damn it! The LV-9 Martial King Realm zombie guard could only turn around and fly toward the Flood Dragon's corpse to help control it. Without the pursuit of the greater success King Realm zombie, Lu Ming was unstoppable. He knocked away more than 10 zombies in a row. Master Lu Ming, how is my father? Seeing Lu Ming, Xian Xiang's eyes lit up as she asked weakly. I'll tell you later. Lu Ming channeled a stream of true yuan to stop Xian Xiang's bleeding and rushed out with all his strength. It seemed that Lu Ming was about to break out of the encirclement. Boom! At this moment, a violent explosion could be heard coming from the direction of the desolate ancient tomb. Boom! 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 Then, a series of violent explosions could be heard, causing the entire desolate ancient city to shake violently. In the next moment, a bright beam of light shot up into the sky from the desolate ancient tomb, straight into the clouds. That is? At that moment, a scene that left everyone dumbfounded appeared. When the beam of light dissipated, a huge stone gate suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. This stone gate stood between heaven and earth, straight into the clouds. It was simply too huge. A vast and boundless heaven's might was emitted from the stone door. The gate of heaven, the gate of heaven! Lu Ming exclaimed. This huge stone gate was very similar to the gate of heaven that Lu Ming had encountered in the Qianjiang waters. Even its aura was almost the same. However, the stone gate in front of him was extremely huge, many times bigger than the gate of heaven that he had seen in the Qianjiang waters. How could this be? How could such a huge gate of heaven appear here? Whoosh whoosh, at this moment, a terrifying suction force erupted from the gate of heaven. Oh no, I'm going to be sucked in. Lu Ming was shocked. He realized that he could not rush out. A powerful suction force was acting on him from the gate of heaven. Chapter 564. Not good. Thunder Hall Master, Fire Hall Master, and the others also rushed out frantically, but it was useless. They couldn't rush out at all. They were attracted by the gate of heaven and slowly flew towards it. Roar! The experts of the Heavenly Corpse sect controlled the dragon corpse to fly out, but it was useless. It was also attracted by the gate of heaven. This time, not only did the gate of heaven not erupt any treasures, but it also sucked them in. Rumble. At this moment, the ancient Desolation City shook violently. Everyone was shocked to find that the ancient Desolation City actually left the ground and flew towards the gate of heaven. The entire ancient Desolation City was about to be sucked away. It was too shocking. How could this be? How could this be? At the entrance of the ancient Desolation tomb, the old zombie guards screamed. They had just opened the door of the ancient Desolation tomb and this scene appeared. It was completely different from the rumors. But no matter how they struggled, it was useless. They kept getting closer to the gate of heaven. Whoosh! Suddenly, the suction force in the gate of heaven erupted violently and instantly increased by dozens of times. Lu Ming only felt an irresistible force pulling him towards the gate of heaven. On the side, Xian Xiang also followed. Everyone, including the entire ancient Desolation City, flew towards the gate of heaven at an extremely fast speed. Buzz! When Lu Ming flew into the gate of heaven, he felt the world spinning. His vision turned black and he didn't know anything. He seemed to be floating in endless darkness. After an unknown period of time, Lu Ming woke up and a ray of sunlight pierced his eyes. Not good. Lu Ming suddenly got up and found himself lying in a mountain forest. Where is this? Lu Ming hurriedly looked around. There was no one around, and Xian Xiang was not by his side. All around him were huge ancient trees. However, the ancient trees around him were too huge. The 1,000-year-old ancient trees he had seen before were far inferior to these big trees in front of him. Here, any ancient tree was more than 10 meters in diameter. It was incomparably huge and went straight into the sky, blocking the sun. What is this place? Is this the world inside the gate of heaven? Lu Min thought. What a rich heaven and earth spirit qi. Lu Ming realized that the spiritual qi of heaven and earth here was extremely dense. Even if it couldn't be compared to Tianxian City, it wasn't too far off. One must know that the profound sky city was built on top of an enormous spiritual eye. Whatever, let's go find Xian Xiang and the others first. Lu Ming rose into the air and stood high in the sky, observing the surroundings. As far as the eye could see, there were ancient trees like this everywhere, extending all the way to the horizon. Lu Ming randomly chose a direction and flew forward. Caw! Lu Ming hadn't even flown 50 miles when he heard a sharp cry. Above his head, a huge fiendish aura pressed down on Lu Ming. A huge bird charged at Lu Ming. What a big bird! Lu Ming looked up and was given a big fright. This huge bird had a wingspan of at least 50 meters, and its claws gave off a metallic luster as they swiped at Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. His wind and thunder spear appeared, exploding with all his strength as he thrust his spear at the giant bird's claw. Clang! The sound of metal colliding could be heard. Sparks flew in all directions where the wind and thunder spear collided with the giant bird's claw. Lu Ming felt a huge force as heavy as a mountain rushing toward him, causing his body to fall rapidly. Whoosh! Lu Ming stepped on a branch with the tip of his foot, and a huge force was unleashed from the tip of his foot toward the big tree below. Bang! The big tree exploded, sending wood fragments flying in all directions. This huge bird is so powerful. Lu Ming felt that although this huge bird was only equivalent to the peak of the 6th-layer Martial King realm, the force it unleashed was not any weaker than Lu Ming's. Could it be a mutated beast with the bloodline of ancient divine beasts or ferocious beasts? Lu Ming was startled. Many demonic beasts possessed the bloodline of ancient divine beasts or ferocious beasts, which made them extremely powerful, far stronger than demonic beasts of the same level. The serpent dragon was a typical example, as it possessed the bloodline of a true dragon, making it extremely powerful. Any serpent dragon had the strength of a Martial King realm cultivator. The strong ones were even more terrifying. Squeak! The huge bird seemed to be infuriated after failing to kill Lu Ming with its attack. It let out a shriek and flapped its wings, causing a gust of wind to sweep toward Lu Ming once again. How bold, extreme Dao strike. Whoosh! The spear pierced through the air and penetrated the giant bird's body. Bang! Following a loud explosion, blood splattered everywhere. The spear penetrated one of the giant bird's feet. The giant bird let out a furious shriek in pain, before flapping its wings rapidly and flying into the distance. It was trying to escape. This giant bird is definitely a mutated beast. How powerful. Despite being only a 6th-layer martial emperor, it was only slightly injured by my extreme Dao strike. Lu Ming exclaimed. Previously, no one below the greater success stage of the martial emperor realm was able to resist Lu Ming's extreme Dao strike. However, this giant bird was only slightly injured. While Lu Ming was immersed in his thoughts, a shocking sight took place. Whoosh! Suddenly, 2 enormous tentacles stretched out from the forest below the giant bird and wrapped around the giant bird. The giant bird let out a terrified shriek, but it was useless as it was dragged down. The next moment, the shriek came to a stop. What? What kind of monster is this? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Roar! Before Lu Ming could calm his thoughts, a shocking roar could be heard coming from the distance. Following this, Lu Ming saw a black dot dashing toward him. The black dot enlarged rapidly, which turned out to be a giant ape. The giant ape was definitely over 200 meters tall, like a mountain. Bang! The giant ape stomped its foot on the ground, causing the ground to tremble violently. A strong gust of wind swept the place, causing the ancient trees to explode into pieces. The giant ape reached out its hands and grabbed a giant octopus from the woods. It was obvious that this octopus was the one that had killed the giant bird. He pinched the octopus to death, then opened his mouth and bit off one of the octopus tentacles. He chewed on it a few times and swallowed it. Roar! The giant ape let out a deafening roar and stomped its feet, causing the ground to rumble. The giant ape's body shot into the distance like a cannonball, turning into a black dot and disappearing. Nest, 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 what the hell is this place? Lu Ming withdrew his aura and hid behind a large tree branch in the distance, cold sweat dripping down his back. That giant ape was too strong, infinitely close to the Sea of Spirit Realm. It had even reached the Sea of Spirit Realm. With such strength, it was already a peak overlord in the Tianxian region. It seems like I should keep a low profile in this place. Otherwise, I won't even know how I died. Lu Ming landed on the ground and withdrew his aura. He chose a direction and ran carefully. Wasn't flying in the sky courting death? If he was discovered by a powerful demonic beast, he wouldn't even be able to fill the gaps between its teeth. Indeed, there were countless powerful demonic beasts living in this land. Lu Ming ran for about 1,000 li and encountered a dozen powerful demonic beasts. None of them were below the Martial King realm. There were even 2 that were not weaker than the giant ape from before. Is that the profound crystal pit? Chapter 566. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He did not expect to find profound crystals in this place. Judging from the aura, it should be a water attribute profound crystal. Lu Ming had no use for it, but he could take it out to exchange. Without further ado, Lu Ming picked up a saber and began to dig. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, his digging speed was extremely fast. In just half an hour, he had dug out a big pit and found 30 water attribute profound crystals. Of course, they were all low-grade profound crystals. There were no mid-grade ones, but Lu Ming was already satisfied. It was just a profound crystal pit. 30 profound crystals was already not bad. Could this be a plane that no one has ever come to? Like the scaled demon plane? Lu Ming guessed inwardly. Then, Lu Ming continued to move forward. Of course, his speed was not very fast. He was afraid that he would accidentally intrude into a powerful demonic beast's territory. However, several hundred li later, Lu Ming stopped again because he found another profound crystal pit. In just a few hundred li, there was actually another profound crystal pit. Lu Ming was shocked. Moreover, this profound crystal pit was a wind attribute profound crystal. Lu Ming could use it. Without thinking too much, he continued to dig. This time, he dug out 29 profound sense crystals of the wind element. After putting them away, Lu Ming continued to move forward. In the following journey, Lu Ming was shocked. There were so many profound crystals in this mountain forest. He ran for about 10,000 li and came across 9 profound crystal pits. Wind, fire, lightning, earth, a total of 7 attributes. In total, he found more than 200 profound crystals. This is simply a holy land. How many profound crystals can I find if I turn this place upside down? Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. However, Lu Ming found a problem. There were no spiritual herbs in this place. Occasionally, he saw a few stalks, but they were all grade 1 and grade 2. High-grade spiritual herbs seemed to have been plucked. There's a profound crystal pit. At this time, Lu Ming found another profound crystal pit. Just as Lu Ming was about to dig, he felt a strong sense of danger. The hair on his body stood on end. Danger. Lu Ming did not hesitate. His figure soared into the sky and landed on a tree branch. Pung! A beam of sword aura flashed past and a bottomless hole appeared at the spot where Lu Ming had been standing earlier. Little bastard, your reaction is quite fast. An old man's figure appeared with a sneer. Old man, it's you? Lu Ming's eyes. This old man was the Thunder Palace Master. What? Surprised to see me? Let's see who will save you today. Thunder Palace Master's eyes flashed with cold killing intent. You think you can kill me? Lu Ming sneered. Lu Ming, I have to admit that you are indeed very lucky. You were ambushed by the Heavenly Corpse sect midway. Everyone else is dead, but you are still alive. I thought you had died long ago. The Thunder Palace Master sneered. Could it be that you're the one who informed the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming asked. That's right, it's me. Lu Ming did not expect the Thunder Palace Master to admit it. Boom! A strong killing intent erupted from Lu Ming's body. His voice was cold as he said, Old man, I didn't expect it to be you. Earlier, when he had asked that question, it was merely a casual question to test the waters. He had never thought that it would actually be the Thunder Palace Master. He had always thought that the one who betrayed the Heavenly Corpse sect was the Xing clan. That's right, it's me. I was the one who leaked your information to the Heavenly Corpse sect. Look at how good I am. I found dozens of people to accompany you in death. Unfortunately, you didn't appreciate it. However, it's the same if I send you down now. The Thunder Palace Master sneered. Old man, I'll definitely kill you. Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the sky. This old man actually sacrificed so many Empyrean divine guards in order to kill him. He was simply insane. Kill me? Dream on. Die. The Thunder Palace Master yelled as the aura of a 9th-layer martial king burst out. With a wave of his hand, a thunderous sword appeared in his hand. Dandan, smash. Lu Ming patted Dandan. Shush. Dandan was sent flying toward the Thunder Palace Master. Buzz buzz, the Thunder Palace Master glared at Dandan with a bolt of lightning the size of an arm. However, it was useless. Dandan rushed past it and continued to smash toward the Thunder Palace Master's face. The Thunder Palace Master's expression changed slightly. He quickly retreated and threw out a slap. The slap was too fast. Dandan could not dodge it. Dandan was sent flying far away. What's the use of these unorthodox skills? Die. The Thunder Palace Master yelled. Lu Ming sighed. The Thunder Palace Master's cultivation was too high. Even Dandan's sneak attack was useless. Without hesitation, Lu Ming turned around and ran away with the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. Since he was not a match for the Thunder Palace Master, he could only retreat first. Want to leave? Stay. The Thunder Palace Master bellowed furiously. Moving his body, he charged toward Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. His speed was as fast as Lu Ming's. Buzz buzz, a thunderous sword slashed toward Lu Ming. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust out his spear. A tricolor true dragon flew out and pounced on the thunderous sword. Puff! The thunderous sword pierced through the tricolor battle dragon and instantly destroyed it. However, the thunderous sword did not stop and continued to shoot toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face turned solemn as he blocked with his spear. Dang! With a loud explosion, Lu Ming's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He heavily slammed into the ground and created a deep pit. Puff! Lu Ming coughed up a large mouthful of blood. His body was injured. If not for the fact that Lu Ming had already comprehended the thunder concept and had already cultivated it to the late stage of first-level initial success, which offset a portion of the power of thunder and lightning, he would have been seriously injured by this move. 9th layer Martial King Realm, powerful indeed. I can't fight against him now. Run. Lu Ming did not hesitate as he rushed out of the pit and ran forward with the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. I told you, you can't escape. The Thunder Palace Master's voice was cold as he chased after Lu Ming. The Thunder Palace Master had comprehended the thunder intent and his speed was too fast. Lu Ming could not escape at all. Boom! Lu Ming and the Thunder Palace Master exchanged blows. This time, it was even more miserable. His body was emitting smoke and almost turned into charcoal. It was as if his body was about to split open. Lu Ming rushed out of the pit and coughed up a large mouthful of blood. He looked at the Thunder Palace Master with murderous intent. Run, why aren't you running? Let's see where you can run to. Today, you will die. The Thunder Palace Master walked over step by step with incomparable coldness. Today, it's not certain who will die. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness as the thunderous power emitted from his forehead. He was preparing to control the Thunder Cauldron to deal a fatal blow to the Thunder Palace Master. After using the Thunder Cauldron, he would definitely be weakened. This place could be said to be extremely dangerous. However, at this point, there was no other way. Whoosh! Dandan flew back and emitted light beside Lu Ming. Chapter 567. What's going on? This little bastard is only a 4th layer martial king. No matter how much of a genius he is, he shouldn't be a threat to me. Why do I feel threatened? Could it be that he has some treasure on him? The Thunder Palace Master's mind spun rapidly as his eyes became vigilant. This little bastard must be killed today. His talent is too shocking. If this continues, I'm afraid I'll be the one to die the next time we meet. The Thunder Palace Master's eyes turned cold as he prepared to attack. Roar! Roar! Right at this moment, 2 earth-shattering roars resounded, causing the earth to violently tremble. An ocean-like pressure came crashing down with a loud bang. What's going on? The Thunder Palace Master's expression changed drastically. Not good. Lu Ming's heart also trembled. Boom! Suddenly, dust filled the air as a gale blew. 2 enormous creatures appeared not far away and were madly fighting. It was an enormous black tiger that was over 100 meters tall and 300 to 400 meters long. It was like a small mountain. It was fighting with a giant ape. It was very similar to the one that Lu Ming had seen previously. It was extremely tall and big. The 2 behemoths fought each other crazily. They rolled and rolled toward Lu Ming and the rest at high speed. The Thunder Palace Master's expression changed drastically as he turned around and ran. Lu Ming did the same. They had just run 1,000 meters when the place where they were fighting was trampled by the 2 beasts. The ancient trees collapsed and turned into a mess. A gale blew, almost blowing Lu Ming away. Lu Ming cast the concept of wind and made use of the power of the gale to run, increasing his speed by a notch. The Thunder Palace Master couldn't care less about killing Lu Ming. Running for his life was more important. The two beasts were too terrifying. The Thunder Palace Master didn't doubt that if he was hit by one of them, he would definitely die. The two were running for their lives. Roar! Roar! The battle between the two beasts shocked the other beasts, and they also ran for their lives. The forest was in chaos. Bang! 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 Beside Lu Ming, a mammoth that was dozens of meters tall ran past and almost flattened Lu Ming. This mammoth definitely had the strength of a peak king. Good chance. 9 dragons used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. In a flash, he grabbed the long hair on the mammoth's tail and crawled into the long hair to hide. The fur on the woolly mammoth's tail was 7 to 8 meters long. Lu Ming could not see a single strand of fur as he hid inside. The two giant beasts continued to fight, rolling and rolling without a fixed direction. Not long after, Lu Ming heard the rumbling sound getting further and further away from the mammoth. In the distance, the Thunder Palace Master swept his gaze over with a gloomy expression. That little bastard got away again. The Thunder Palace Master snorted coldly and left carefully. After an unknown amount of time, Lu Ming estimated that they had run at least tens of thousands of miles. At this time, the mammoth slowed down. Lu Ming retracted his aura and slipped down from the mammoth's tail. Could it be that we're almost out of the forest? Lu Ming discovered that the surrounding trees were much smaller and not as big as before. Lu Ming walked in a certain direction for several thousand li and discovered that they had indeed exited the forest. In front of him were layers upon layers of mountains and mountain ranges. The terrain of the forest before was relatively flat and there were almost no mountain ranges. However, there were only mountain ranges in front of him. What is this place? Apart from demonic beasts, there is not a single person or any other race. Lu Ming frowned. He then retracted his aura and ran towards the mountain ranges. Fortunately, Lu Ming did not encounter any powerful demonic beasts in these mountains. If there were any, their strength was relatively low. Could it be that all the powerful demonic beasts are in this forest? Lu Ming relaxed a little. He then flew into the sky and sped up. Wait, what is that? Suddenly, Lu Ming came to a halt. He flew back and landed on a small mountain peak. This is a profound crystal mine? Lu Ming sensed carefully and discovered that this mountain was emitting a strong intent realm aura. Moreover, it was the aura of wind intent realm. This was actually a wind attribute profound crystal mine. Lu Ming was ecstatic. There should be at least several hundred pieces of power Upanishad crystal in the load, and there might even be mid-grade power Upanishad crystal. Most importantly, these were wind attribute profound crystals. With these crystals, Lu Ming's wind intent realm could improve rapidly. Dig! Lu Ming started digging crazily. 3 hours later, Lu Ming had dug out an entire mountain. The harvest was plentiful. There were 330 low-grade profound meaning crystals. Most importantly, there were 2 mid-grade profound meaning crystals. 2 mid-quality profound meaning crystals of wind element. I'm rich. Lu Ming wanted to laugh out loud. This place is really full of treasures. Continue to search and see if there are other profound crystal mines. Lu Ming searched crazily. True enough, there were no powerful demonic beasts in this piece of land. Lu Ming sped up. Soon, he discovered a small profound crystal mineral vein tens of thousands of miles away. Another profound crystal mine. Before, in the forest, there were profound crystal pits. Now, this place is a profound crystal mine. I'm rich, I'm rich. Lu Ming was in a good mood. Originally, he was a little depressed because of entering this strange place, but now, all of that was swept away. This profound meaning crystal mine was a metal attribute profound meaning crystal mine. In the end, Lu Ming excavated more than 400 metal attribute profound meaning crystals and 2 middle-grade metal attribute profound meaning crystals. Continue. Lu Ming felt that he couldn't stop at all. Half an hour later, Lu Ming stopped on a mountain peak, frowning. The mountain underneath was dug out completely. From the faint aura of intent domain in the air, it should be a small load of power Upanishad crystals. But it was dug out by someone else. I wondered if it's someone from the Heavenly Corpse sect. This time, the majority of the people here were from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Seems like I'd better be careful. Lu Ming's figure flashed, leaving this place. An hour later, he stopped in front of a mountain peak, wild joy on his face. This mountain peak was filled with powerful lightning intent realm. It was a thunder attribute profound crystal mine. Thunder attribute profound crystals were something that Lu Ming could use. Clang. Clang. Lu Ming started to dig. Hee hee, our luck is really good. Another profound crystal mine. This time, we're really rich. Lu Ming hadn't even dug twice when a cold and dry voice sounded. Whoosh. Whoosh. 2 coffins flew over, and 6 figures walked out of them. 2 zombie guards and 6 refined corpses. Their bodies emitted powerful auras. Great completion kings, all of them are great completion kings. Lu Ming's face changed. This time, about a dozen of the Heavenly Corpse sect's great masters had entered this place. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming encountered 2 of them. Kid, are you from the Xian family or the Empyrean Divine Guards? You're unlucky to have met us. Hand over your storage ring obediently, and we'll leave your corpse intact. Chapter 568. Come and get it yourself if you can. Lu Ming said coldly. Brat, you're overestimating yourself. I'll kill you first. One of the zombie guards said coldly. Then, one of the zombies pounced on Lu Ming. Swoosh. Swoosh. 7 or 8 chains swept toward Lu Ming like poisonous snakes. Lu Ming swept out his spear and collided with the chains. His body was sent flying backward. No, although these 2 zombie guards are 7th level martial king, they're still kings in the greater success stage. I'm no match for them now. I can only retreat. Although he was unwilling, the fat meat in his mouth was about to fly away. He had no choice as he was weaker than them. Lu Ming turned around and used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. In a few flashes, he was far away. The 2 zombie guards were stunned as they couldn't catch up. This brat is pretty fast. One of the zombie guards was unwilling. Forget it. Let's not care about him. Let's dig out the profound crystals first. This place is truly a peerless treasure ground. I've never heard of such a place before. If we can bring these profound crystals out, we'll be rich. The other zombie guard's eyes lit up as he controlled the zombies to start digging. Lu Ming flew for 10,000 miles and stopped at a secluded place. Looks like I'll have to increase my strength first. Otherwise, I won't be a match for these kings in the greater success stage. Only by increasing my strength can I obtain better resources. Heavenly Corpse Sect, Palace Master Lei Ji, just you wait. With a thought, Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon. With a wave of his hand, a pile of wind attribute esoteric crystals appeared. Now, as long as the wind attribute esoteric crystals reached the first level of the lesser success stage, Lu Ming's cultivation could continue to increase. Lu Ming reached out and grabbed a mid-grade wind attribute esoteric crystal. Lu Ming wanted to start with the mid-grade esoteric crystal. Placing the Enlightenment Ancient Tree beside him, Lu Ming entered a state of emptiness and pinched the esoteric crystal. Bang! The medium-grade Upanishad crystal of wind class shattered. Wisps of intent domain emerged, circling Lu Ming. Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to comprehend. The effect of a mid-grade profound crystal was astonishing. 2 days later, Lu Ming's concept of wind broke through to level 1 minor accomplishment. However, the effect of the profound crystal was still there. Lu Ming continued to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, another 3 days had passed. His wind mentality had reached the middle stage of level 1 lower tier, and the effect of the mid-tier profound sense thread finally disappeared. Then, Lu Ming took out a low-grade profound sense crystal and continued to comprehend. Comprehending in the Temple of Paragon was not as effective as comprehending in Tianxian City. After spending half a month and using up more than 300 wind profound crystals, his wind concept had only reached the peak of level 1 lesser success. Xiao Chen was just one step away from great perfection of first rank, the same as the state of fire. Whoosh! Lu Ming opened his eyes and exhaled a mouthful of turbid qi. Now, my wind and fire concepts are just one step away from great perfection of first rank, and my thunder concept has reached the late stage of lesser success of first rank. It won't affect my cultivation anymore. Let's start to improve my cultivation. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. With a wave of his hand, 50,000 supreme spiritual crystals appeared and exploded. The 9 dragons' bloodline devoured them and refined them into true origin. The 3 intents were almost balanced, and there was no resistance. Lu Ming's cultivation began to improve rapidly. However, after reaching LV for Martial King, the number of supreme spiritual crystals required to improve his cultivation was terrifying. From the early stage of LV for Martial King to the middle stage of LV for Martial King, Xiao Chen had consumed a total of 200,000 supreme spiritual crystals. That was 200,000 supreme spiritual crystals to improve his cultivation. After refining 600,000 supreme spiritual crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation broke through to the peak of LV for Martial King. Then, after refining another 500,000 supreme spiritual crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation broke through to the early stage of LV5 Martial King. After refining 1,100,000 supreme spiritual crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation had only improved by 1 level. If it were anyone else, they would not be able to afford it. However, Lu Ming remained calm. He continued to take out supreme spiritual crystals and began to devour them. LV5 Martial King required even more supreme spiritual crystals. Lu Ming refined 900,000 supreme spiritual crystals to reach the peak of LV5 Martial King. Then, he refined 80 supreme spiritual crystals to break through to the early stage of LV6 Martial King. However, Lu Ming did not stop. He refined another 5 million supreme grade spirit crystals and cultivated to the peak of the 6th level Martial King realm in one go. This was already his limit. Because he had not broken through the heaven and earth realm, it was impossible for his cultivation to break through. In total, he had refined 4,300,000 supreme spiritual crystals in 7 days. If anyone knew this, they would be scared to death. Refining 4,300,000 supreme spiritual crystals in 7 days and improving his cultivation by a few levels was simply inhumane. Of course, this was all thanks to the 9 dragons' bloodline's advancement to the 7th level Martial King realm, which greatly enhanced its devouring and refining ability. The peak of LV6 Martial King realm, the true qi is too abundant. Lu Ming felt like he was spitting out true qi as soon as he opened his mouth. How strong am I now? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. When the 3 intents of heaven and earth reached the lesser success stage, the power of the 3 intents of heaven and earth was comparable to the perfection stage of a single intent. Together with his current cultivation of LV6 Martial King realm, Lu Ming had no idea how strong he was. Either way, it would be a piece of cake for him to kill a 7th level Martial King realm cultivator at the greater success stage. I might as well cultivate the 3 skills of the Dragon God and improve my strength to the maximum before leaving this place. Lu Ming pondered. In this place, Lu Ming had a huge advantage, which was that he could quickly convert the ultimacy crystals into strength. No matter how many profound meaning crystals the others had, they would not be able to use them as quickly as Lu Ming. Furthermore, even if their intent level had improved, their cultivation level would not improve as quickly as his. This was because the speed of refining the crystals was far slower than his. Therefore, Lu Ming was not afraid that the other's cultivation would increase rapidly. Lu Ming planned to improve his strength to the maximum, then go out to dig for ultimacy crystals and kill the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect to take their ultimacy crystals. Under the Enlightenment Ancient Tree, the speed of learning martial skills was 10 times faster than normal. In just half a month, Lu Ming had cultivated the 3 skills of the Dragon God to the 4th level. Lu Ming's ability had improved by another notch. Let's go, it's time to harvest. With a thought, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon and turned into a beam of light, disappearing in a flash. Lu Ming did not control his speed at all, flying wildly in the sky. In the blink of an eye, he had traveled more than 100,000 miles. On the way, Lu Ming saw 5 or 6 ultimacy crystal mines that had been mined. Lu Ming did not stay in this area and flew further away. 5 hours later, Lu Ming finally saw a figure. Hurry up, after mining this ultimacy crystal mine, let's go find the next one. Not far ahead, a shout came from a distance. Around 30 zombie guards were controlling refined corpses to mine a load of power Upanishad crystals. This time, there were many people from the Heavenly Corpse sect, nearly 1,000 people. The 30 corpse guards were only a small portion. Whoosh! Lu Ming appeared above the profound crystal or vein, a cold smile hanging at the corners of his mouth. Chapter 569. As soon as Lu Ming appeared, the zombie guards were startled. Who's there? Kid, it's you. You're courting death. A few cold shouts were heard. The 2 zombie guards at the 7th level Martial King realm recognized Lu Ming instantly. Whoosh! Whoosh! The sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. 2 powerful refined corpses of LV-7 Martial King realm blocked Lu Ming's path of retreat. They had learned their lesson this time. They had blocked the path at the beginning, fearing that Lu Ming would escape again. It seems like you've had a great harvest recently. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with a fiery glow. As far as he knew, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect rarely practiced the 9 common intents. The Heavenly Corpse sect mostly practiced a special intent, known as the intent of death. Therefore, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect would never use the ultimacy crystals they had excavated. Most of them were stored in their storage rings, waiting to be exchanged for resources. Hee hee, not bad, kid. Too bad, you can only be envious. Kill. A 7th layer Martial King zombie guard let out a hollow laugh and uttered a sudden roar. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 2 7th layer Martial King zombie guards behind Lu Ming immediately attacked Lu Ming. In front of them, another 7th layer Martial King zombie was controlling 2 zombies to surround Lu Ming. This time, it's you who are going to die. The Wind Thunder Spear appeared in his hand as he lashed out. A full moon appeared in the sky. Bang! 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 The spear glow accurately struck the 4 7th layer Martial King zombies. The 4 zombies were sent flying like 4 cannonballs, crashing into a few mountains 10,000 meters away. Explosions could be heard as dust filled the air. The mountains collapsed from the impact, sending debris flying everywhere. All the zombie guards were astounded, especially the 2 7th layer Martial King zombie guards. They could no longer sense the presence of the 4 zombies. In other words, the 4 zombies had been destroyed. How was this possible? Zombies had copper skin and iron bones, which were impenetrable. Even an 8th layer Martial King expert would not be able to destroy a 7th layer Martial King zombie so easily. However, Lu Ming's spear had destroyed 4 7th layer Martial King zombies. The 2 7th layer Martial King zombie guards' faces turned pale. Let's go. Without hesitation, the 2 7th layer Martial King zombie guards fled into the distance. It's too late to run away. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind the 2 zombie guards. The long spear smashed toward the 2 of them with the force of Mount Tai. 1,000-meter long, incomparably huge spearlight crushed down on the 2 zombie guards. The two zombie guards were trying their best to counterattack. However, the zombie guards' combat power was weak. How could it stop Lu Ming? Bang! The spear glow was the two 7th layer Martial King zombie guards. Run, run! When the other zombie guards saw this scene, they were scared out of their wits and fled in all directions one after another. Devour! Roar! The 9 dragons' bloodline flew out and roared. A terrifying devouring force burst out from its mouth and covered the zombies. Ah, what's going on? Why can't I run anymore? My essence blood. My essence blood is flying out. Save me! The zombies screamed in horror. However, the next moment, swoosh! Swoosh! Drops of blood essence were devoured by the zombies and flew into the mouth of the 9 dragons' bloodline. Once the blood essence was devoured, their vitality was gone. More than 30 zombie guards had all falling to the ground. Whoosh! The 9 dragons' bloodline devoured the blood essences of the two 7th layer Martial King Realm Corpse guards. Then, Lu Ming waved his hand and his true essence formed many thin threads. He took off the storage rings of the zombies and put them away by Lu Ming. Let's find a place to refine the blood essence and then count them. With a move, Lu Ming left the place. Tens of thousands of miles away, Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and started to refine the blood essence. This time, Lu Ming used all the blood essence to improve the second bloodline. The blood essence of two 7th layer Martial King zombies and more than 30 other zombies was extremely rich. Soon, the second bloodline vibrated slightly and the 7th silver chakra appeared. 7th level Martial King bloodline. The blood essence of a Martial King at the greater success stage was indeed extraordinary. Buzz! The second bloodline vibrated slightly and the clouds covering the stone steel seemed to have thinned. There was a blurry word on the top of the stone steel. Lu Ming opened his eyes wide and looked at it carefully. Suppress. There seemed to be the word suppress at the top of the stone steel. Suppress? Is this stone steel called the suppress something steel? Lu Ming was curious. It was a pity that he could only vaguely see this word. He could not see the other words. It will all appear sooner or later. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with anticipation. Then, he took out the storage rings of the zombies and started to count them. There were a total of 33 storage rings. Lu Ming first checked the storage ring of a 7th layer Martial King zombie guard. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Piles of power Upanishad crystals were piled up in his storage ring. There were too many of them. There were at least 500 of them in each pile. Not only were there profound crystals of the 9 common intents, but there were also some special intents. For example, star profound crystals, berserk profound crystals, etc. There were a total of 13 types of profound crystals. Of course, the number of special profound crystals was much less, but there were still more than 100 of them. There were a few metal boxes next to these profound crystals. Lu Ming opened them and found that they were all middle-grade profound crystals. There were a total of 30 middle-grade profound crystals. Lu Ming almost drooled. My nest, this place is really a peerless treasure. Lu Ming's eyes emitted a fiery light. He then checked the other storage rings. There was no doubt that the two 7th layer Martial King zombie guards had the most profound crystals, but the other 30 zombies also had a lot of profound crystals. In the end, Lu Ming found that there were about 20,000 profound crystals. Yes, there were more than 20,000 profound crystals and 108 middle-grade profound crystals. I'm rich, really rich. If these profound crystals were taken to Tianxian City, the whole city would be shaken. Except for the profound crystals, Lu Ming did not count the rest. He was too lazy to count them now. He would count them later when he had time. Killing these Heavenly Corpse sect zombie guards is the fastest way to get profound crystals. If I were to dig them myself, how long would it take? Lu Ming decided to go out and hunt the zombies to get the profound crystals. Not long after, Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and searched the area. Unfortunately, within 100,000 li, he only encountered a small group of zombie guards. The strongest one was only a 5th-layer martial king, and was easily killed by Lu Ming. This small group only had a little more than 1,000 profound crystals. It seems that I have to search further away. Chapter 570. Bang! Bang! Half a day later, explosions could be heard above a mountain more than 100,000 li away. A few figures were fighting fiercely. Extreme Dao Strike. Puchi. A middle-aged zombie guard was pierced through the forehead by Lu Ming's spear and died unwillingly. It seems like I should have no problem killing a peak 8th-layer martial emperor realm zombie guard with my extreme Dao attack. However, zombie guards are still weaker than ordinary cultivators. With my current strength, I'm still no match for a 9th-layer martial emperor realm greater success stage zombie guard. Lu Ming put away his spear and pondered. Dozens of corpses were lying on the ground below, all of which were zombie guards. Not long ago, Lu Ming had come here and encountered these zombie guards, and a battle had broken out. The leader of these zombie guards was actually a zombie guard at the peak of the 8th Martial King realm. Lu Ming unleashed all his combat power to kill all these zombie guards. His true yuan swept across and collected all the storage rings. Lu Ming found a place and started counting. The harvest this time was even greater than the last time. All the profound crystals added up to almost 30,000 pieces. Crazy, too crazy. Even with Lu Ming's calmness, his heart could not help but tremble. Profound crystals were not something that could be measured by price. If he took them out, countless people would fight for them. Now, should I cultivate first or hunt down the zombie guards of the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming pondered. I'd better cultivate first. It seems that I won't be able to go back for a while. I might as well reach the greater success stage in one go. That way, I won't be afraid of anyone except those giant beasts in this place. Lu Ming made up his mind and took out a thunder profound crystal. He planned to comprehend the thunder intent first. After all, his thunder intent was lagging behind the other two intents. He planned to use a low-grade thunder profound crystal to raise his thunder intent to the peak of the first-level minor success stage, then use a mid-grade thunder profound crystal to break through to the first-level greater success stage. Bang! Lu Ming crushed a thunder profound crystal, closed his eyes, and began to comprehend. However, in less than a minute, Lu Ming opened his eyes. What's going on? Why did the intent domain in the crystal disappear for no reason? Lu Ming's eyes were filled with bewilderment. When he was cultivating just now, he discovered that he couldn't absorb even the slightest trace of the concept. It had completely disappeared. One more time. I want to see what's going on. Lu Ming took out another piece and crushed it. This time, Lu Ming did not start comprehending, but carefully observed. In the end, he was dumbfounded to discover that all of the concept threads flew towards the space between his eyebrows and were absorbed by the thunder cauldron in his sea of consciousness. Nest, it can't be, right? Lu Ming was flabbergasted. Shi Yan hadn't used the Thunder Upanishad crystal before, so he hadn't noticed this problem. This thunder cauldron was actually fighting with him for the concept of thunder thread. Lu Ming didn't give up. He crushed a few more thunder profound crystals, but the result was the same. Lu Ming crushed another crystal, but the lightning cauldron didn't react at all. Nest, you don't have to do this, right? XXXX. Lu Ming was speechless. He felt an urge to vomit blood. Like this, wouldn't he have to honestly comprehend the concept of thunder? He couldn't use the profound crystals to speed up his cultivation. His plan to crazily increase his cultivation was going to be ruined. Because no matter how fast he comprehended the other concepts, it was useless if the concept of thunder didn't catch up. Heavens, why are you playing with me like this? Looking at the huge pile of thunder profound crystals in his storage ring, Lu Ming heaved a long sigh. Then, Lu Ming's consciousness appeared in his sea of consciousness. Looking at the thunder cauldron, he gnashed his teeth. He wished he could throw this thunder cauldron away. But it was just a thought. Not to mention whether he could do it or not, even if he couldn't bear to do it. Forget it, I'll just honestly comprehend it. Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the thunder cauldron and began to comprehend the concept of thunder. Fortunately, the Enlightenment ancient tree was placed next to Lu Ming. Even if he was in his sea of consciousness, it was still 10 times more effective than usual. After all, his sea of consciousness was only in the space between his eyebrows. Lu Ming calmed down and began to comprehend the concept of thunder. Even without the profound crystals, with the help of the thunder cauldron and the Enlightenment ancient tree, Lu Ming's comprehension of the concept of thunder was incomparably fast. It was 100 times faster than others. 10 days later, Lu Ming's comprehension of the concept of thunder had reached the peak of the first level. But breaking through to the first level wasn't so easy. He needed to accumulate experience. At this time, Lu Ming had already been here for over a month. I have to quickly find a way to leave. There's only 3.5 months until Senior Apprentice Sister Mulan's and the Sacred Star's wedding. Lu Ming frowned. But right now, he was still at a loss as to how to leave. Lu Ming decided to look for a way to leave while hunting the zombie guards. After leaving the Temple of Paragon, Lu Ming flew in a straight line in one direction. At this time, Dandan, who was hanging from his hair, flew out. Its body glowed and trembled slightly. Then, it flew quickly in a direction. What's going on? What did Dandan find? Lu Ming was a little confused. He flew after Dandan. After flying for about 10,000 miles, a huge mountain covered in dark red fog appeared in front of them. The surroundings of the mountain were deathly silent. There were no plants, no living creatures. That mountain peak was filled with a dark red mist. One look and one could tell that it was an evil being. Dandan flew to the mountain, trembling slightly. It seemed to be very excited. Then, it flew into the mountain. Lu Ming also flew in. Kill! Kill! When Lu Ming came into contact with the dark red fog, earth-shattering screams rang in his mind. He realized that the scene around him had changed. It had become a purgatory on Earth. Millions of corpses were lying on the ground. Blood flowed like a river. Countless powerful beings were fighting. Lu Ming saw a true dragon flying in the sky, but it was torn in half by a demonic shadow as tall as the sky. Lu Ming saw a phoenix flying across the sky, but its wings were cut off by a demonic shadow. A human expert slashed open the sky with his sword, but he was killed by a demonic shadow with a punch. Unimaginable scenes appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. The terrifying killing intent almost made Lu Ming's mind collapse. At this time, Lu Ming felt a force pulling him. The surroundings changed. He was still at the edge of the mountain. The 9 dragons' bloodlines surrounded him. The devouring power erupted and blocked the dark red fog. Lu Ming let out a long breath. The dark red fog was too strange. It was so dangerous just now. Lu Ming almost had a mental breakdown. What was that scene just now? Was it a real battle that happened in history? Lu Ming was curious. Dandan. Then, Lu Ming rushed into the mountain with the protection of the 9 dragons' bloodline. Chapter 571. On the peak, there was a broken wing. There was a divine light shining on it, which was extremely mysterious. Most importantly, this wing was very similar to the scene Lu Ming saw just now. A phoenix's wing was cut off. This was a phoenix wing. Lu Ming felt that his heart was about to jump to his throat. What was a phoenix? It was an ancient divine beast, an existence on par with the true dragon. It was an invincible existence and extremely powerful. It had been extinct in the divine wilderness continent for many years. But now, he actually saw such a wing here. What made Lu Ming dumbfounded the most was that Dandan was actually eating this wing. She saw Dandan grow to 100 meters tall. On the eggshell, there was a huge crack, and she was biting the wing bit by bit. Moreover, it was very fast. Dandan ate more than half of the wing in a few bites. Even the feathers on it were not spared. Damn, leave some for me. Lu Ming shouted and rushed forward. But as soon as Lu Ming approached, he felt a terrifying aura acting on his body. Waves of tearing pain came. Lu Ming felt that his body was almost torn apart. Shocked, Lu Ming hurriedly retreated. What a terrifying aura. This might really be a phoenix wing. After countless years of death, its aura has not dissipated. Ordinary people can't get close at all. Lu Ming thought in shock. But Dandan, that beast, was not affected at all. It was still eating. Soon, the whole wing was eaten by Dandan. Only a few feathers were left. Beast! Lu Ming screamed at the top of his lungs. But after Dandan finished eating, it returned to the size of a human head and fell on the peak, motionless. But its surface was emitting a faint light. After the wing was eaten, the terrifying aura also disappeared. Lu Ming walked over. Dandan. Lu Ming patted Dandan, but Dandan did not move. Could it be that this fellow has eaten too much and needs to digest it? Lu Ming hugged Dandan with both hands, trying to lift Dandan up. However, he found that Dandan was heavier than a mountain and could not be lifted at all. Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed that he would have to wait here for a while. Lu Ming looked around. He discovered that there were still a few feathers left on the mountain peak. Lu Ming hurriedly ran over to pick them up. There were a total of 5 feathers, each about half a meter long. They were the shortest on that wing. They were considered mixed feathers, which was why they fell off. Even so, the 5 feathers were sparkling and translucent. They were fiery red in color, as if they were polished from fiery jade. An astonishing aura was emitted from them. Lu Ming had to use all of his strength to resist. This is also a supreme treasure. I'll keep it first. Lu Ming took out a storage ring and put away the 5 feathers. Then, he looked around, but unfortunately, he did not find anything else. Forget it. I'll cultivate while waiting for Dandan. Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and continued to comprehend the Thunder Essence. Every day, Lu Ming's comprehension of the Thunder Essence improved by leaps and bounds. This cultivation lasted for half a month. Lu Ming had the help of the ancient Tree of Enlightenment and the Lightning Cauldron. Half a month of cultivation was equivalent to more than 4 years of cultivation for others. Lu Ming felt that his Thunder Essence was about to break through to the greater mastery of the first level. He was only a step away. At this moment, Lu Ming sensed that something was amiss outside and left the Temple of Paragon. At this moment, Dandan's body was emitting a strong light. It was as bright as a small sun. A terrifying amount of life essence rippled out. Crack. Suddenly, Lu Ming heard a slight crack on Dandan's body. A small crack appeared. Could it be that Dandan is about to hatch? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Dandan was spat out from the gate of heaven. It was very mysterious and was not afraid of any energy attacks. It had a huge appetite. It could even eat the heavenly tribulation and phoenix wings. Lu Ming had always been curious. What was Dandan? What kind of creature would it be when it hatched? Now, the answer was finally going to be revealed. Crack. Another sound came from the eggshell. Treasure. There's a treasure here. Suddenly, an excited shout was heard. Ha ha ha, this treasure is not ordinary. It's ours. The sound of something breaking through the air rang out as dozens of zombie guards appeared with refined corpses. Brat, this treasure is not something you can see. Die. A zombie guard saw Lu Ming and controlled a refined corpse to attack Lu Ming. All of you must die. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as the bloodline of the 9 dragons appeared. He opened his mouth and inhaled. Among the dozens of zombie guards, those who were below the level of a phenomenal success king had their blood essence devoured by Lu Ming and died an unnatural death. The remaining 2 zombie guards, one of them was a 7th level martial king while the other was an 8th level martial king. They looked at Lu Ming in a daze, their eyes full of horror. What martial skill was Lu Ming using? He had killed dozens of zombie guards with a single move. Kill! Lu Ming stepped forward and charged at the 2 zombie guards. Bang! Bang! In less than 10 moves, the 2 zombie guards were killed by Lu Ming. All their storage rings fell into Lu Ming's hands. Meanwhile, more cracks appeared on Dandan's eggshell. Lu Ming stared at Dandan while refining the blood essence. A few minutes later. With a bang, the eggshell cracked completely. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. A fist-sized turtle appeared in front of Lu Ming's eyes. The turtle stood with legs like a human, and its 2 front legs were like human hands. It stretched its waist. Ha ha ha, I've finally come back to life. Experts of this world, tremble. Beauties of this world, open your hearts and wait for my arrival. Ha ha ha. The little turtle could speak human language and roared at the sky. However, its voice was very young, like a 3-year-old child. It sounded very funny. Lu Ming's eyelids twitched and his lips trembled. What the hell? What the hell hatched from the eggshell? It was one thing to hatch a turtle, but it was actually a talking turtle, an extremely narcissistic one. Lu Ming was completely speechless. After a while, he said, Dandan. Before he could finish, he was interrupted. What Dandan? If you call me Dandan again, I won't spare you. In the past, I was a turtle under the eaves, so I endured it. But in the future, you better behave yourself. The little turtle scolded with its 2 front legs on the turtle's shell like a peerless expert. It was just that its young voice didn't have the slightest deterrence. Dandan, what are you? You can talk as soon as you were born. Where are your parents? Lu Ming was extremely curious. Junior, shut up. Let me tell you, I am the leader of the top 10 war beasts. I have been invincible since ancient times. I live as long as heaven and earth and shine as bright as the sun and the moon. Where did my parents come from? I said, if you call me Dandan again, I will be angry with you. The little turtle stretched out a claw and pointed at Lu Ming, his eyes wide open. Top 10 war beasts? Dandan, what is that? Lu Ming asked curiously. You. Chapter 572. The pair of tortoise eyes rolled around twice, as if it was deep in thought. After a while, it let out a few dry coughs and said, back then, I went through a fierce battle and was severely injured. I had no choice but to turn into an egg. After countless years, I was reborn. As I have just been reborn, my memories are still incomplete. As for what the top 10 battle beasts are, I can't remember them clearly. You can't remember? Lu Ming looked at Dandan suspiciously and said, then you should be very strong, right? Ahem, didn't I tell you that I was seriously injured back then? Now that I have just been reborn, I haven't recovered much of my strength. Dandan put a turtle claw to its mouth and coughed a few times in a very human-like manner. Dandan, you're not fooling me, are you? Lu Ming looked at Dandan with a face of disbelief. Dandan was very intelligent before. Lu Ming suspected that Dandan had learned to speak before it was hatched, so after it hatched, it pretended to be an expert and fooled him. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. As for the rebirth of the strong in the top 10 battle beasts, he didn't believe it at all. Boy, you dare to doubt me. Well, in order to convince you, I will give you a good fortune now. Dandan put its hands behind its back and looked unhappy. Oh. What good fortune? Lu Ming laughed. Previously, I felt that there was a place not far away with a treasure. Now, I will take you to get it and convince you. Dandan snorted coldly. What treasure? Lu Ming was very curious. Hee, if I'm not wrong, it should be the mysterious yellow silicon earth. It can absorb all the energy of heaven and earth, transform it into its own energy, and cultivate peerless spiritual herbs. Dandan smiled proudly. What? Mysterious yellow silicon earth? Is it true? Lu Ming was shocked. The mysterious yellow silicon soil was a kind of peerless treasure. It was produced at the beginning of the world. It was a peerless divine soil used to cultivate spirit herbs and spirit medicines. In ancient times, even in ancient times, the most powerful people in the world would use mysterious yellow silicon to cultivate spiritual herbs. However, Xianhuang silicon was extremely rare. It was usually sold in taels. Even a tael could be sold for a sky-high price. Lu Ming immediately thought of the Tao Comprehension ancient tree. If he had the profound yellow silicon, then the problem of cultivating it would be much simpler. Now, the clear spring water stored in the jade box of the Tree of Enlightenment was almost empty. Finding spiritual liquid to cultivate it was of utmost importance. Hee, come with me. Dandan smiled proudly. With his hands behind his back, he stepped into the air and flew towards the distance at an extremely fast speed. Although Lu Ming was skeptical, he still followed him. About 50,000 li away from Lu Ming, within a radius of 1,000 li, there was nothing but desolation, not even a blade of grass grew. Two figures were flying in the air. If Lu Ming was here, he would be able to recognize them at a glance. One of them was the Temple Master of Thunder and the other was the Temple Master of Fire. Hey, there's a medicinal fragrance coming from that direction. Suddenly, the Temple Master of Fire stopped. Medicinal fragrance? The Temple Master of Thunder was a little confused. It can't be wrong. I usually do alchemy part-time and am extremely sensitive to the smell of spiritual herbs. It's not far ahead. The Temple Master of Fire said. There aren't many spiritual herbs in this world. It's definitely extraordinary that there are spiritual herbs in this barren land. Let's go and take a look. The Temple Master of Thunder's eyes lit up. The two of them moved forward quickly. Soon, a mound appeared in front of them. The medicinal fragrance was coming from that mound. Around the mound, it was also barren. However, there were 7 stalks of spiritual herbs growing on the mound. That's the 7 knots grass. What's going on? Why is it emitting such terrifying medicinal properties? The two of them were shocked when they saw it. This was because the 7 knots grass was a very common spiritual herb. It was a level 1 spiritual herb and to them, it was trash. However, the 7 stalks of 7 knots grass in front of them were crystal clear. They were surrounded by a divine glow and emitted a strong medicinal fragrance. They were not level 1 spiritual herbs but level 6 spiritual herbs. Furthermore, they were level 6 spiritual herbs of the highest grade. What kind of place was this? How could a level 1 spiritual herb become a level 6 spiritual herb of the highest grade? Mysterious yellow silicon soil. That's the mysterious yellow silicon soil. The Temple Master of Fire looked below the 7 knots grass. His eyes suddenly widened in disbelief. Below the 7 knots grass was a type of soil that was red and yellow in color. Terrifying spiritual energy was emitted from the soil. This was the mysterious yellow silicon soil. What? The mysterious yellow silicon soil. The Thunder Palace Master was also shocked. His eyes were wide open, and immediately after, a burning greed appeared in his eyes. Looking at the area, it was about 1 meter square. How much did it weigh? One must know that in the outside world, in a small domain like the Tianxian domain, it was impossible to find a treasure like the mysterious yellow silicon soil. Only in some of the larger domains, the mysterious yellow silicon soil could be found. However, it was extremely rare and sold by the price of 2. However, no one knew how much it weighed here. Ha ha ha, I'm rich. I'm rich. The Temple Master of Fire was grinning from ear to ear. Compared to the mysterious yellow silicon soil, the 7 stalks of upper level 6-7 knots grass were not as eye-catching. Old man Hua, since we found it together, how about we split it equally? The Temple Master of Thunder said. All right, no problem. The Temple Master of Fire nodded his head and stared at the mysterious yellow silicon soil. Old man Hua, you are more proficient in refining medicine. You will be in charge of digging the mysterious yellow silicon soil. I will stand guard at the side. The Temple Master of Thunder said. All right. The Temple Master of Fire nodded his head and flew toward the mound with a burning gaze. At this moment, a sinister look flashed across the Temple Master of Thunder's eyes. A lightning sword appeared in his hand and he stabbed it toward the Temple Master of Fire's back. The Temple Master of Fire never expected that the Temple Master of Thunder, whom he had known for a few hundred years, would attack him. He was caught off guard and was stabbed directly. Puchi. The lightning sword pierced through the Temple Master of Fire's chest. Ah! The Temple Master of Fire let out an earth-shattering roar. A flaming lion appeared and pounced toward the Temple Master of Thunder. The Temple Master of Thunder pulled out his sword and retreated 1,000 meters to avoid the flaming lion's attack. Why? The Temple Master of Fire turned around and looked at the Temple Master of Thunder with bloodshot eyes. Hee, such a big piece of mysterious yellow silicon soil. Isn't it a pity to split it equally between the two of us? Wouldn't it be great if I kept it alone? Also, I've been eyeing the profound crystals in your storage ring for a long time. The Temple Master of Thunder sneered. You deserve to die. You deserve to die. The Temple Master of Fire roared. I deserve to die. Ha ha ha, the one who will die now is you. The Temple Master of Thunder laughed maniacally. Lightning flashed on his body and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Stop. At that moment, a furious roar could be heard as a figure dashed toward them at a rapid pace. Whoosh! The figure appeared and it was Lu Ming. On his shoulder stood the little turtle, Dandan. Chapter 573. Lu Ming. Little bastard, it's you? As soon as Lu Ming arrived, the Fire Palace Master and the Thunder Palace Master exclaimed. Lu Ming glanced at the Fire Palace Master and sighed. The Fire Palace Master's heart had been pierced by the Thunder Palace Master. Moreover, the Thunder Palace Master was ravaged by the Thunder Palace Master. There was no way he could save himself. If not for the Fire Palace Master's profound cultivation, he would have already died. Lu Ming, leave quickly. Leave quickly. The Fire Palace Master shouted. Leave? Where should I go? Lu Ming, you still dare to appear. Last time, you were lucky enough to escape. This time, you're still as stupid as before. Ha ha ha. You're really courting death. The Thunder Palace Master laughed heartily. He laughed heartily. This time, not only could he obtain the mysterious yellow silicon soil, but he could also get rid of Lu Ming. Naturally, he was overjoyed. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He did not reply, but sent a voice transmission to Dandan. Dandan, you said that you're a peerless expert. Can you kill this old man with a slap now? Lu Ming asked. Cough cough, didn't I tell you? I've just been reborn, and my strength hasn't recovered yet. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm no match for him. But you have to believe me. When I was at my peak, I could kill thousands of Sea of Spirit Realm warriors with a single breath, let alone this kind of trash. Even if it was a martial emperor expert, I could kill them with a single slap. Dandan stood on Lu Ming's shoulder and sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming proudly. Lu Ming was speechless. Kill. Suddenly, the Thunder Palace Master shouted. With a flash of lightning, he slashed at Lu Ming with his sword. Berserk Lion bursting flames. The Fire Palace Master roared as a blazing aura erupted from his body. A huge flaming lion rushed out and charged at the Thunder Palace Master. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear. Boom! With a loud boom, the Thunder Palace Master floated back. Lu Ming and the Fire Palace Master also floated back dozens of meters. Puff! The Fire Hall Master coughed out large mouthfuls of blood as his body trembled. He was unable to float in the air and fell to the ground. Senior. Lu Ming waved his hand, and his quintessence wrapped around the Fire Hall Master, bringing him to the ground. Lu Ming, run. You're no match for him. The Fire Hall Master roared as blood spurted out from his mouth. There were even traces of lightning in the blood. Ha ha ha, old man Hua, you're about to die. If you still want to attack, you'll only die faster. You don't have to ask him to escape. Do you think he can escape from me? The Thunder Palace Master sneered, his eyes cold. Old man, the one who will die today is you. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely cold. There were no living beings here. Lu Ming decided to take a risk and use the Thunder Cauldron to kill the Thunder Palace Master. I was the one who died? Ha ha ha, this is the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. The Thunder Palace Master burst out laughing. Following this, his face darkened as he yelled, Die! Buzz buzz, thunderbolts gathered in the heavens and earth, forming a giant thunderbolt sword that slashed down at Lu Ming. True Dragon Strike. Boom! Lu Ming's cultivation was fully unleashed as the three-colored intent merged together and he thrust out his spear. A huge tricolor dragon flew out, roaring furiously. Boom! With a loud explosion, Lu Ming's body shuddered as he retreated rapidly. However, the thunderbolt sword of the Thunder Palace Master was blocked by Lu Ming. Not far away, the Fire Hall Master was dumbfounded. He had not expected Lu Ming to be able to block the attack of the Thunder Palace Master. Impossible. How is this possible? The Thunder Palace Master yelled in disbelief. In such a short period of time, Lu Ming's cultivation had skyrocketed to the peak of the LV6 Martial King realm and his combat strength was extremely terrifying. The Thunder Palace Master's heart trembled. He had lived for a few hundred years and had never seen such a terrifying genius. No, such a terrifying monster. Even Yan Kuangtu, the genius who had shocked the eastern wilderness 100 years ago, was not this terrifying. Kill him. If I don't kill him, I will die. The Thunder Palace Master's heart was filled with fear. It was the fear that Lu Ming had brought to him. As expected, he is still a little weaker than a LV9 Martial King realm. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. With his combat strength, he could easily kill a peak LV8 Martial King realm martial artist. However, there was still a gap between him and a LV9 Martial King realm martial artist. Lu Ming, I have a way to increase your strength and kill that old man. At this moment, Dandan's voice was heard. What is it? Lu Ming asked. I am the head of the top 10 battle beasts and have lived for a very long time. Not only am I invincible in terms of combat strength, but so is my inscription Dao. I will now inscribe an inscription formation on your body that will make your true origin go berserk in an instant and double its strength. In this way, you will be able to suppress that old man. Moreover, this method will not have any side effects. Dandan explained proudly. Nonsense, hurry up. Lu Ming yelled. Take a few moves first and I will inscribe it. Immediately, Dandan's front claws shone brightly as it waved them around. Sizzle, with a flash of lightning, the Thunder Palace Master turned into lightning and appeared in front of Lu Ming in an instant, slashing down with his sword. Clang! Lu Ming blocked with his long spear, but his body was knocked back continuously. Thunder kill. The Thunder Palace Master used his killing move. The thunder sword stabbed out and the air was instantly scorched by the power of thunder and lightning, forming a space zone. Extreme strike. Clang. Two powerful attacks clashed together. At the point where the spear and sword collided, a blazing light burst out. It was even brighter than the sun. Swish. Lu Ming's body shook violently. His blood and chi were in turmoil as he was sent flying a few thousand meters away. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Dandan, are you done? Lu Ming asked. Cough cough, wait a minute. I failed just now. Dandan coughed dryly. Nestle. Lu Ming wanted to curse. Dandan was too unreliable. He actually failed to inscribe the inscription. Was he trying to trick him? Nestle failed again. Dandan muttered. Lu Ming was speechless. He could only fight back and fight with the Thunder Palace Master. Explosions continued. After 5 to 6 moves, Lu Ming's body was in pain. Die. The Thunder Palace Master was in a frenzy. The aura on his body was getting stronger. Dandan, are you done? Lu Ming asked again. If not, he planned to use the Thunder Cauldron to kill the Thunder Palace Master. I'm done. Dandan laughed. At this moment, Lu Ming's body suddenly emitted rays of light. Lines of gorgeous inscriptions appeared on Lu Ming's body. At this moment, Lu Ming felt the true yuan in his body circulating crazily. Compared to before, it had increased by more than twice. So strong. Lu Ming felt that he was filled with endless energy. At this moment, the Thunder Palace Master attacked again. Kill! Lu Ming roared and pulled out his spear. Buzz! The space shook violently. The spear formed an arc and heavily struck the Thunder Palace Master's battle sword. Bang! Chapter 574. How is this possible? The Temple Master of Thunder Palace exclaimed in disbelief. He racked his brains, but he could not figure out how Lu Ming had suddenly become stronger. Could it be some kind of secret technique? The Temple Master of Thunder Palace thought quickly. Below, the Temple Master of Fire Palace was also dumbfounded. I almost forgot. The cultivation technique that Lu Ming cultivates is not to be underestimated. When he uses this inscription, his strength will increase by more than 2 times. Dandan muttered. Kill! Lu Ming performed the 9 dragon sky stomping steps and appeared in the sky above the Temple Master of Thunder. He looked down from above and smashed his long spear toward the Temple Master of Thunder. Boom! Under Lu Ming's violent true essence, the spear radiance was as heavy as a mountain and smashed toward the Temple Master of Thunder. The Temple Master of Thunder roared and condensed a lightning giant with a lightning sword in his hand. He was like a god descending from the heavens as he slashed his sword upward. Boom! Lu Ming's spear radiance was unstoppable and exploded. The lightning giant collapsed and the violent force blasted onto the Temple Master of Thunder. The Temple Master of Thunder was like a meteorite as he smashed into the ground, creating a huge pit that was hundreds of meters wide and dozens of meters deep. In the next moment, the Temple Master of Thunder rushed out of the huge pit. At this moment, the Temple Master of Thunder's hair was disheveled and his clothes were tattered. There was blood at the corner of his mouth and he looked extremely miserable. Ha, old man Zheng, you finally have a day like this. Since Yen Kuangtu 100 years ago, another peerless genius has appeared in the mysterious sky east. The Temple Master of Fire Palace laughed heartily. Immediately after, the vitality in his body slowly dissipated and finally returned to nothingness. The Temple Master of Fire Palace left in laughter. Damn it! The Temple Master of Thunder roared and then turned to run. He knew that he could no longer kill Lu Ming and could only run. Want to run? Kill! Lu Ming performed the 9 dragon sky stomping steps and chased after him. His long spear trembled and spear radiance burst out. The Temple Master of Thunder had no choice but to turn around and desperately resist. Watch me! Dandan leaped up from Lu Ming's shoulder and roared. Then, its 4 limbs and head retracted into the turtle shell. The turtle shell spun in the air and smashed towards the Thunder Palace Master's face. The Thunder Palace Master shot out countless lightning bolts, but they were useless against the tortoise shell. The tortoise shell passed through the layers of lightning bolts and smashed towards the Thunder Palace Master's face. Thunder Palace Master was already experienced. He quickly retracted his hand, wanting to slap Dandan away. However, Dandan spun in the air and quickly dodged Thunder Palace Master's palm. Bang! A tortoise shell slammed into the Thunder Palace Master's face. The Thunder Palace Master let out a blood-curdling scream as he retreated. A clear mark of a tortoise shell had appeared on his face, and blood was flowing out from it. Extreme Dao Strike. Lu Ming seized the opportunity and used his Extreme Dao Strike, piercing through the Thunder Palace Master's heart with his spear. The Thunder Palace Master roared, his eyes filled with unwillingness. Be on your way. The long spear trembled, and a violent force exploded, tearing the Thunder Palace Master's heart and organs into pieces. I can't accept this. The Thunder Palace Master roared as he breathed his last. The evils you bring upon yourself are the hardest to bear. Lu Ming snorted coldly. The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and devoured the Thunder Palace Master's essence blood. Following which, he took off the Thunder Palace Master's storage ring. Lu Ming stepped forward and arrived before the Fire Palace Master. The Fire Palace Master had already breathed his last, but there was a carefree smile on his face. Lu Ming sighed. The dignified East Branch Palace Master had died in the hands of the Thunder Palace Master, who was also a Palace Master. It was truly lamentable. Senior, rest in peace. I've already killed that old man, Palace Master Lei. Lu Ming muttered. He used his True Yuan to absorb the Fire Palace Master's storage ring. Then, he dug a hole and buried the Fire Palace Master's corpse. Mysterious yellow silicon soil. Lu Ming looked at the mound. Ha ha ha, how is it? I wasn't wrong, right? There is mysterious yellow silicon soil here. It can be considered a great fortune for me to guide you. However, the 7 stalks of 7-knot grass belong to me. Dandan placed its 2 front paws on its turtle shell and looked proud. Its black eyes stared at the 7 stalks of 7-knot grass. No, I can't give you the 7-knot grass. Lu Ming rejected it directly. What? You can't give it to me? Lu Ming, you ingrate. I was the one who guided you to find the mysterious yellow silicon soil. Do you know how precious it is? Also, I was the one who helped you deal with the Thunder Palace Master. Don't you know how to repay me? I was severely injured and needed the spiritual grass to recover. Are you that petty? Dandan was enraged. It pointed one of its claws at Lu Ming and spat out a bunch of words. Lu Ming was speechless and said, I'll give you 1 stalk. No, 2 stalks. Dandan shouted. Okay, deal. Lu Ming immediately agreed. Dandan grinned as if it had been cheated by Lu Ming. Then, Lu Ming dug up the 7 stalks of 7-knot grass and gave 2 stalks to Dandan. Dandan picked them up and ate them as if they were carrots. It looked like it was enjoying it. Lu Ming was speechless. He didn't believe that Dandan was a peerless expert. Then, Lu Ming took out a huge pill furnace. This pill furnace was found in the storage ring of someone else. Lu Ming put all the mysterious yellow silicon soil into the pill furnace. 500 kilograms. There was a total of 500 kilograms of mysterious yellow silicon soil here. It filled the pill furnace to the brim. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. If this amount of mysterious yellow silicon soil was released to the outside world, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Countless inscription masters would go crazy. Lu Ming carefully planted the Enlightenment ancient tree into the mysterious yellow silicon soil. After planting it, Lu Ming waved his hand and a huge pile of spiritual herbs and spiritual flowers appeared in the air. These were all low-grade spiritual herbs that he had obtained from others. Most of them were level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 spiritual herbs. They weren't of much use to Lu Ming. Lu Ming pressed his palm and a majestic True Yuan exploded. The spiritual herbs were instantly destroyed and turned into dust. Then, Lu Ming's True Yuan turned into 2 True Yuan giant hands that grabbed the spiritual herbs and squeezed them. Drops of spiritual liquid appeared and dripped onto the mysterious yellow silicon soil. The mysterious yellow silicon soil could turn the spiritual liquid into its own energy to nourish the spiritual herbs planted on it. After squeezing a few thousand spiritual herbs, Lu Ming stopped and kept the mysterious yellow silicon soil in the Temple of Paragon. Dandan, do you know where this is? Lu Ming looked at Dandan. At this moment, Dandan had already finished eating the 2 7-knot grass. It was lying in the air with its 2 front paws on its head and its legs crossed. It had a leisurely expression on its face. I don't know. Although the aura of this world feels familiar, I was too badly injured back then and forgot about it. Dandan said leisurely. Lu Ming pursed his lips. He knew this would happen. This guy was too good at bragging. With a flash of his figure, Lu Ming flew in the same direction as before. He continued to look for a way out. Wait for me. Chapter 575. This land was extremely vast. Lu Ming flew for 3 days straight, covering a distance of several million li. Along the way, Lu Ming did not find any profound crystal veins that could be excavated. Although this land was rich in profound crystals, they were limited. Some regions had more, while others had less. Along the way, Lu Ming found many traces of excavation. Obviously, they had been excavated. During the flight, Lu Ming converted all of the Thunder Palace Master's essence blood into bloodline power. Although the essence blood of a 9th-layer Martial King was abundant, it still did not allow his 9 dragons bloodline to reach the 8th level of the Martial King realm. The amount of essence blood needed to level up one's bloodline was terrifying. Therefore, Lu Ming did not use the essence blood he had devoured to increase his cultivation. Instead, he used all of it to improve his bloodline. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a salty wind blowing. Lu Ming was startled and increased his speed. Rumble. Rumbling sounds came from ahead, as if huge waves were sweeping across the sky. At the same time, the salty wind became stronger. As Lu Ming flew, the rumbling sounds became even more intense. It was simply deafening. Not long after, is this the ocean? Lu Ming stood on a cliff and looked into the distance, dumbfounded. In front of him was a boundless ocean. Huge waves surged into the sky and were extremely violent. The lowest waves were a few hundred meters high. The tallest waves were even 1,000 meters high. In the sky, dark clouds covered the sky. Thunder rumbled and the wind howled. It was like the end of the world. Is this really the ocean? Lu Ming had never seen the ocean since he was young, but he had heard of it. However, he had never heard of the ocean being so violent. Not to mention ordinary people, even martial Dao experts would not be able to survive in the ocean. Lu Ming looked for a while. Occasionally, he could see huge sea beasts rolling in the ocean. Lu Ming frowned and looked for a while. Then, he quickly flew along the coastline. However, along the way, the ocean was the same. They were all violent. Lu Ming flew for 3 days. They were all the same. This coastline is circular. Could it be an island? Lu Ming speculated. Lu Ming, based on my experience, this should be an island. You are all tied up on an island. Dandan said. Island. If I rush out of the island, I might be able to see other people. Perhaps I'll be able to find a way back. Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he flew towards the sea. Boom! Raging waves crashed against the shore and strong winds swept across. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He discovered that the astral winds on the sea were incomparably terrifying. They were like divine weapons that constantly slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming used his quintessential essence to protect his body, but his quintessential essence consumption was extremely severe. At this rate, Lu Ming would not be able to fly far before his true essence was completely exhausted. Helpless, Lu Ming could only fly back to the coast. I refuse to believe that the seas in all directions are this violent. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and continued to fly along the coastline. 10 days. Lu Ming had been flying for a total of 10 days. He reckoned that he had circled around half the island. However, all he saw was the same. It was extremely violent. This made Lu Ming rather speechless. Lu Ming was a little anxious. There were still 2.5 months until Mulan's wedding, but he still had not found a way out. Lu Ming, you can only focus on cultivating now. Perhaps one day, an outsider will come to this island. Then, you will be able to leave. Dandan said. That's all I can do. Lu Ming sighed. No matter what, strength was the best way to go. Moreover, with his current cultivation, even if he could leave, he would not be a match for the sacred star. He would only be able to fight the sacred star if his strength increased and he managed to leave. After that, Lu Ming stopped at the coast and entered the Temple of Paragon to comprehend the lightning concept. Lu Ming's lightning concept had already reached the limit of first-level minor completion. After another 5 days, Lu Ming's lightning concept broke through and reached first-level major completion. This was a threshold. First-level major completion was the symbol of a major completion king. Lightning concept has reached first-level major completion. Now, I'll use profound crystals to raise the other 2 concepts. Lu Ming took out a mid-grade wind attribute profound crystal. Now that Lu Ming was rich, he planned to use a mid-grade profound crystal to break through. Crushing the mid-grade profound crystal, Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to cultivate. 2 days later, Lu Ming opened his eyes. Around him, the wind whistled, forming wind blades. First-level major completion wind concept. Moreover, it was at the middle stage of first-level major completion. The mid-grade profound crystal's effect was too powerful. Normally, mid-grade profound crystals were used by Sea of Soul realm experts to cultivate and comprehend the second-level nature mentality. Therefore, the effect would naturally be huge for the first-level nature mentality. This was also the reason why Lu Ming had the Enlightenment Ancient Tree. Normally, when a martial king used a mid-grade profound crystal, 70 to 80% of it would be wasted. Normally, no one would be so wasteful. However, Lu Ming had the Enlightenment Ancient Tree, so he only wasted 10 to 20% at most. Now, it's fire concept. Lu Ming took out another mid-grade profound crystal and crushed it, beginning to comprehend. 2 days later, his fire concept also broke through to first-level major completion, reaching the middle stage of first-level major completion. The 3 concepts had reached major completion. Lu Ming's fusion of the 3 concepts had reached a frightening level, completely surpassing the peak of a single concept. Moreover, Lu Ming could now break through to the major completion king realm. Major completion king realm. Lu Ming's eyes shone with incomparable expectation. With a wave of his hand, a pile of 200,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals appeared. With a shake of his Jin Yuan, all the spirit crystals exploded. The 9 dragons' bloodline opened its mouth and sucked, absorbing all the energy of these spirit crystals. Soon, 200,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals were refined. Lu Ming took out another 200,000. The Jin Yuan in Lu Ming's body became denser and denser, stronger and stronger. He began to break through to the 7th-level martial king realm. Rumble. The Jin Yuan in his body was like the ocean outside, exploding wildly. Not enough, still not enough. When Lu Ming refined 1,400,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals, he realized that he was still lacking a lot. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and exploded 600,000 supreme-grade spirit crystals in one breath, swallowing all of them, and began to break through. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. 3 days later, Lu Ming suddenly let out a long roar, and a terrifying aura burst out from his body, soaring into the sky. If not for the Supreme Temple, it would have stirred up the clouds in the sky. 7th-level Martial King Realm, Major Completion King Realm, finally. Lu Ming laughed. Now, he was finally standing on the same level as Sacred Star. Of course, Sacred Star had reached the peak of the 9th-level Martial King Realm a few months ago, and was only one step away from the Peak King realm. He could break through at any time. Lu Ming was still under a lot of pressure. But at least it was fast approaching. With a thought, Lu Ming came out of the Supreme Temple and appeared by the sea. Boom! Chapter 576. The spear light turned into a 3,000-meter-long giant spear, breaking through the gale above the sea and ruthlessly whipping the sea. In an instant, the 1,000-meter-tall giant wave was crushed. In the sea, a giant spear mark appeared, and the seawater collapsed, splitting into two sides. It was as if the entire sea had been split in half by Lu Ming's spear. Boom! After a few breaths of time, a shocking rumble came from the sea. The giant wave rolled over and covered the traces of the spear. My battle strength is at least 5 times stronger than when I was at the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Now, if he were to fight with the Thunder Palace Master, he was confident that he could kill him with a single spear strike even without the help of Dandan's inscription. Now, let's cultivate the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps and the 3 ultimate skills of the dragon god in this sea. After the 3 intents reached greater success, the 3 ultimate skills of the dragon god could be cultivated to the 5th level. When the 3 intents reached the peak, he could cultivate the 3 ultimate skills of the dragon god to the 6th level, reaching the peak. Then, Lu Ming focused on cultivating the 2 martial skills. In the blink of an eye, another 3 days passed. During this period, Dandan stared at the sea in a daze every day, as if he was thinking about something. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when he suddenly heard battle cries from afar. And the battle cries were approaching the sea. Let's go take a look. Lu Ming's figure moved and flew in that direction. Dandan hurriedly followed. In front, 5 figures were flying toward the sea. Their bodies were covered in blood, and their faces were filled with fear. Among the 5, 3 were experts of the Xian family in the ancient desolate city, and they were all at the level of King Realm. The other 2 were the 2 guardians of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. One of them had an extremely powerful aura, and he was actually at the 7th level of the Martial King Realm. The guardians of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace were usually at the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King Realm. Obviously, this guardian's cultivation had broken through during this period. However, his face was still filled with panic. You can't escape. Die. Behind them, dozens of zombie guards were chasing and laughing. They were unhurried, like a cat catching a mouse. One of the zombie guards had reached the peak 8th layer Martial Emperor realm. After running for a while, they were almost at the seaside. The sea is ahead. The 2 protectors of the Xian family and the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace were filled with despair. Let's see where you can run to now. A zombie guard burst into laughter. Stop running. Today, all of you are going to die and become our refined corpses obediently. Didn't that palace master of your Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace already become our refined corpse? The zombie guard with a cultivation of the peak 8th layer Martial Emperor realm sneered. Today, you will be the ones to die. Suddenly, a cold voice came from the direction of the seaside. Everyone was taken aback. They looked in the direction of the sea and saw a beam of rainbow light flash by. In the next moment, a young man of about 20 years old appeared. His eyes were as cold as a sharp sword. It was Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's you? Run. You're no match for them. A green-robed protector shouted when he saw Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming stepped forward and faced the zombie guards of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Another kid has come to die. A zombie guard with a cultivation of the peak 6th layer Martial King realm sneered and controlled 2 refined corpses to attack Lu Ming. Die. Lu Ming flicked his finger and 3 spear lights flew out, directly piercing through the glabella of the zombie guard and the 2 refined corpses. The zombie guard opened his eyes wide in disbelief. He had not expected Lu Ming's spear lights to be so fast that he could not block them at all. Kid, you're courting death. The zombie guard with a cultivation of the peak 8th layer martial king realm roared with killing intent. The other zombie guards also surrounded Lu Ming. What should we do? The people of the Xian family and the two protectors stopped in the distance with complicated expressions. There are 2 king realm experts and 5 refined corpses. Lu Ming is definitely no match for them. If we go up, we will be killed. A protector said. That's right. Let's take this opportunity to leave. A middle-aged man from the Xian family said. As for the others, their eyes flashed with hesitation. Let's go. Once Lu Ming is dead, we won't be able to leave. The middle-aged man from the Xian family urged. Okay. Let's go. The others gritted their teeth. However, at this moment, something unexpected happened. A huge flood dragon emerged from Lu Ming's body. It opened its mouth and sucked. Drops of essence and blood flew out from the bodies of dozens of zombie guards and then fell to the ground one by one like raindrops. Only the 2 King Realm zombie guards were not dead, but their faces were also pale. The Xian family and the 2 protectors were in disbelief. Damn it, how dare you kill the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect? You're courting death. The zombie guard with a cultivation of the peak 8th layer martial king realm roared and controlled the 3 refined corpses to attack Lu Ming. That's the Earth Palace Master. Lu Ming found that one of the refined corpses was very familiar. It was the Earth Palace Master. Ha ha ha, this is one of the palace masters of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. He was killed by our experts and turned into a refined corpse as a reward. What do you think? Isn't he powerful? The zombie guard with an 8th layer martial king realm sneered. Die. Lu Ming swept his long spear and the 2 corpses of the 8th layer martial king realm were sent flying like cannonballs and smashed into the ground. Then, he took a step forward and the power of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps exploded. The other 7th layer martial king realm martial artist and his 2 refined corpses exploded. Ah, how could this be? The zombie guard with a cultivation of the peak 8th layer martial king realm screamed in fear. Not far away, the 3 people from the Xian family and the 2 protectors who were about to escape were dumbfounded as they watched this scene. Lu Ming had killed the zombie guards who had made them run for their lives without any effort. He was unimaginably powerful. Gulp. The middle-aged man from the Xian family swallowed his saliva and was covered in cold sweat. Don't come over. The zombie guard screamed and controlled the refined corpse of the palace master of the Earth Palace to block in front of Lu Ming. At the same time, he ran for his life. Humph. Lu Ming took a step forward and his figure flashed. He passed by the palace master of the Earth Palace and appeared behind the zombie guard. He stabbed his long spear into the zombie guard's waist and came out from his dantian. True Yuan exploded and the zombie guard's dantian exploded, destroying his cultivation. Once his cultivation was destroyed, the corpse of the palace master of the Earth Palace stopped moving in the air. Don't kill me. The zombie guard screamed and begged for mercy. Speak, where are the rest of you? Lu Ming asked. In a plane 100,000 miles ahead. I beg you, let me go. The zombie guard begged for mercy. Buzz. With a shake of the long spear, the zombie guard was torn into pieces. With a wave of his hand, dozens of storage rings flew into Lu Ming's hand and disappeared. Lu Ming, I didn't expect you to grow so much in such a short time. At this moment, the 3 people from the Xian family and the 2 protectors flew over. One of the protectors said with a smile. Yeah, I've lived for a few hundred years. Young hero Lu Ming is the strongest genius I've ever seen. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.